Welcome into the Cam Strick Podcast, episode number 283, fueled by First Form, baby.
Yeah. Yoink! What's up? What's up, everybody?
Yoink!
Yeah, baby. Let's go. God dang.
Yoink!
You know?
What kind of energy are you going to have today?
I might crush one of these bad boys, actually.
No, don't open that, because that's for the props.
Fuck that.
Good thing that we weren't recording, because Cam's said 5 or 6 different things. I had to fact check it. You were wrong on all of them, so we'll have some good stuff.
The Rempy thing?
Well, yeah.
I thought he did an autograph. He didn't sign it.
He wrote
something, yeah,
No,
about
he
McDermott.
He told the kid McDermott.
Then that's
is
ridiculous.
Next.
Then
he didn't write that on the picture.
Oh, okay. Then who gives a shit? That's his word. Who cares?
I was telling Cam coming into the to the show that he's gargling mouthwash.
Yeah.
The worst noise possible.
Yeah.
And I said he'd be like the guy that if you got room with him at college, freshman year of college, your first day.
Mm-hmm.
And you're stuck with Cam. You'd be like sending text messages home, calling home, being like, I need a new roommate. I don't know if I can handle this. He makes a lot of noises.
I do. Well, I make more noises now than I used to, but yeah, I do have my weird quirks. I thought I was a pretty good roommate. Like, I know I don't like to fart in front of people. I don't really burp in front of people either besides my wife. My wife's the only person that I'll do any of that around. So I try to be clean in front of other people, but I chew, so I kind of cough up things, and I like to always put mouthwash in, so I'm like, and I spit it in the empty bottle, so I could see where it can bug some people, but I don't think I was a bad roommate. I've had bad roommates, man, and a bad roommate's a bad roommate.
Who's the worst
and
roommate
they're loud.
you ever had?
I've had some guys that were just weird, and I didn't like them that much. Okay. You know what I mean?
So that's what it was.
But it could be a bunch of different things. If you snore, it's god-awful. I snore now, but I didn't really back then. Jan Stasny, who I love dearly, and we love his whole family, but he fucking snored so loud, Andy, that I'd have to take a pillow and be like, bam! And smack him in his face. And I wanted to throw him out the fucking window. Yeah. But that was god-awful. But there's other guys that stay out all night. They talk on the phone to their wife. They go outside. You have to call your wife and talk to her for 40 minutes while I'm just sitting there trying to sleep or whatever, that kind of shit.
You make a lot of noises.
I make a lot of noises.
You're
like, it's bad now, dude. I think I have sleep apnea. I talked about that, dude. I had 50 people text me and they're like, dude, here, try this, blah, blah, blah.
There's a lot of things you can try for that.
I got issues.
You didn't know that?
What's that?
You didn't know that?
With what?
There's a lot of things you can try for sleep apnea. There's a lot of remedies out there.
Yeah, I want that fucking gas mask, baby.
Really?
I want to be like,
dude,
suck that oxygen.
Sleep apnea can be very tragic.
I want to suck that oxygen.
You know that. It can be very tragic.
Yeah, can you die from it? Maybe I think
Reggie White, remember him? Reggie White.
Big football player, Reggie White.
Minister of Defense.
Green Bay.
He perfected a swim move. Okay? He put his hand in the dirt, 3-point stance.
Yeah, he was a shit kicker.
And he had a quick first step, Cam. And it would just get that leverage underneath him.
Yeah.
I wish I had video right now. I could just break it down for you, just in terms of how he would beat the offensive tackle on the other side. But
I don't know why you act like
come underneath you.
Yeah.
Okay. Football coaches say okay, after every sentence. Okay. Yeah. Hey, get underneath him. Okay. And just kind of strong arm him and just throw him with one hand. I mean, just throw him to the ground. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
He would do that. How was your weekend?
Good story, Andy. What a fucking waste of time that was.
That was a good story. People know, hey, go look up the Minister of Defense.
You got makeup on?
Does it look like it?
Yeah.
No. I will tonight, though, baby.
You got makeup on, though?
No, not yet.
You didn't do any, thing? All right.
Where's the makeup?
Your face looks tan.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I've been outside a lot. The sun's been out.
All right. I'm just saying, it's been beautiful here.
Yeah,
dude.
I've been getting the fires going. I've been sitting outside.
I saw that. I saw
that was Friday.
Ty was
playing with Belay, yeah.
I skated the other day, man. I'm kind of nervous about this game because I was not good the other day. Fucking couple guys chirping a little bit.
Were they?
A little chirpy poo.
See, you're just learning. See, hockey's the one game, Cam, that
wasn't that good.
I've seen this with some of the greatest players in the history of the game. And I mean, I don't put you in that category. You're one of the greatest players to ever come out of St. Louis, out of Eureka.
Yeah, baby. The first and only.
But I've seen some of the greatest players to ever come out of the game who never skate. They took years off, and then they get on the ice, and you're like, wow.
Some are really good, and some are bad.
The ones who are good, though, hockey's a game you have to maintain. You can't just stop playing. Like when you would like chirp me and stuff like that, you never understood that like if you stop playing for several years at a time.
3 times a week. You're on the ice 3 times a week.
Not now.
What are you trying to say?
So then now you hadn't skated.
I chirp you because you weren't that good.
You hadn't skated in a long time.
And you brag about yourself.
You hadn't skated in a long time.
Yeah, I was okay.
So like, now you want to get back, it's not just like riding a bike where you just get right back into it.
No, it's hard.
You have to maintain the skills, the hands go, the skating goes, the endurance, the stamina, out the window.
The big thing's the endurance right now. Everything else will come. Like I'm still like I could move, my edges are fine. Your hands come down. I was ripping the puck. I was using a new stick.
What'd you think of that?
I was ripping the puck.
Give Hockey Stick Man a shout out.
Yeah,
man.
dude.
They got those pro stock sticks, man.
Yeah, they all black. It was good. Yeah. I was leaning on that. I got that 95 flex. I could bend it pretty good. I was ripping the puck.
Yeah.
But
is it 95?
I had 95 flex.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And my lungs were burning, man. Like big time burning. Mm-hmm. We had Chaser. Will Chase was out there. Jamie Rivers' son Ashton was out there skating. So he's skating with a bunch of young kids that could fly around a little bit. They got some energy.
Yeah.
That was my fucking lungs were gassed. But so the skate coming up, I think Brenden Morrow is one of those guys that we have on this show, this episode, by the way. But I look at him, man, and I'm like, he's like, I haven't skated in fucking 2 years. Okay. But he's the kind of guy that maybe hadn't skated in 2 years. He goes out there one time for a practice. Then he goes out to this thing. He's going to be fucking doing this shit.
You think he'll be good to go?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do. You know what I mean?
See it with other guys, man. It's not always the case.
No, guys like me, I drink a lot. Like I'm doing things like.
What are you doing exactly? You think?
Drinking.
Where is your stamina?
I get my mind right. I'm just. I don't know. We got a couple more skates before that thing. I'm a little nervous about it. My dad's going to be there. Kate's going to be there, so I got to put a show on.
Can I give you a couple of suggestions?
Yeah.
And I mean this. I think you should come out and do some of these skills skates that Ty does.
I will go out there with him.
Like it can't be like a mess around.
Do I got to pay for it?
You can't just be distracting.
Ty, I won't.
Like you got to, because it's for you too. We're getting you back in shape and we're getting your skills there where you need to be.
I'll do that. Okay. Is it a Centene?
No. You have to go get you'll have to go get your equipment and bring it to the other rink.
That's a hassle.
So I'll let you know when those are. You'll have to come skate.
So I got to pay for it, or am I going out there with Ty?
You're going out there with him, but you're going to have to pay the instructor, man. He deserves some money, right?
Okay. How about I just go skate with the alumni more? I mean, I got to go out to
That's not going to do it.
Okay.
And now you're impacting all of us. The brand is going to take a hit. Everything is really on the line here with this particular skate coming up.
It could be embarrassing. The last time I did an event, the big event was with Biz and Wit.
That was like almost 5 years ago.
Biz and Wit, and that did help the brand out at the time because I fought Biz, put on a show, we did our thing. So I helped out then. I think this could be another good one where I could do something.
Well, I like that thought.
Yeah.
So
and my dad's gonna be there.
What does that
mean?
That
changes. Just like I want to do something, baby.
Really?
What's up? Yeah, goddamn right. Hell yeah.
I don't know how much ice time you're gonna get.
Who knows?
You don't know.
But it makes a difference. Just like if Ty, and you haven't been here yet because Ty, you've been to every one of Ty's events, basically, right? You haven't missed much. And you're lucky.
I've missed some out of town
but not too much, right?
Yeah.
But when you're not there, man, it's a little different. Although he needs to learn how to he needs to learn how to play without you because it's only going to get worse when he gets older.
The other dads don't know
But when
that.
you show up and he sees you, he's like, fucking let's go, baby.
Yeah.
My daddy's here.
The other dads don't know that yet. Because they haven't.
What do you mean?
Well, they just haven't had to go to a tournament. I mean, some kids have, but where the dad hasn't been able to be there. And they don't understand the different dynamic that presents when you're not there.
Some kids probably are like, get my fucking dad away from me.
Maybe.
Unfortunately.
Maybe. At this age, probably not, though.
You're homesick like no other dude. It's homesick. You do.
You tie his skates.
Yeah.
You help him get dressed.
Yep.
It's the drive to the rink.
You calm him down.
100%.
I get that.
And you're there to, it helps when you're there, too. Like,
Yeah, I do.
Because the coach knows the dad's there too.
I will say this, man. I've said this before, though. Sorry, my dad would try to go on every single trip, and it was a pain in the ass for him because it cost money, and he needed to work on weekends at a time to make extra money, whatever. But my mom would take me once in a while with the other moms, and they would get lost every fucking weekend. Laugh the whole time, and I'm in the back, like yelling at them, like fucking go, we need to be there. So they kind of They're like, my dad, my mom at the time thought I was like, you're having fun up in Michigan.
Right.
You're doing your partying with other guys, although he is, they're going out and doing their thing. But it's still like, you're playing in a big tournament.
Yeah.
Like, there's eyes on you. Like, it's still a pretty big deal
It's a business
AAA.
trip.
It's
for
a
the
business.
moms, it's like vacation.
Exactly
you know
right,
what I mean?
Andy.
And it's
and
like
good
the
for them.
hockey, like, becomes secondary. Not all of them.
No, but it was a little bit like that. And so it would piss me off quite a bit. But my mom, on the other hand, like, you know what? She deserved to go have fun. Fucking sitting at home in that house way out in the middle of the woods by herself every goddamn weekend. My brother was gone too.
I wouldn't call that the woods.
Where I grew up?
No.
Dude, are you out of your damn mind? Black Madonna Shrine. Look it up on Google Maps. We were way the fuck out there at Sandy Creek Lane. Yeah, dude, it was scary as shit.
You know that there's
when
a
you were there by
bear
yourself,
on the
Andy,
loose
I'm sorry.
right
I gotta
now.
defend myself.
There's a bear on the loose.
I gotta defend myself.
In Missouri, you know that.
A black bear? That doesn't mean it's on
very
a loose.
hungry.
Doesn't mean it's on a loose.
Oh, it's walking down the Mississippi River.
Yeah, right by my house. Right by my house.
He's just trying to find his way down to the Ozarks, probably.
Well, if he's going this way, he's going the opposite way.
Well, he's going the other way. Whatever.
He's going that way?
Yeah, he's going that
so
way.
he came from here.
Yeah.
Usually it's the other way around. But he could have came up from down south, too.
He's trying to
follow the river,
baby.
baby.
To find a new, location.
But don't tell me I didn't grow up. It was fucking scary out there. And it was scary for my mom when we were gone every weekend. So when she went on trips, I don't want to chirp my mom too much because I love her. But, it was a pain. That was a vacation. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Lori probably knows it's business, does she?
She knows it's business, but it's just not the same.
I know. It's not.
You know what I mean?
It's you got work to do. You got work to do.
She does her best.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's just not the same. So, and it's not just the out-of-town trips, you know? I mean, he had a tournament here in town last weekend. Parents yelling at each other and everything, man. It was just kind of.
Can I give a shout out to somebody?
Yeah.
Sorry to change the subject.
So it was an in-town tournament, but I wasn't able to go to one of the games. You know, the Blues were playing last Sunday.
It's okay. They're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
He's doing good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give Chrissy Pondoff a shout out.
Oh yes.
Chrissy Pondoff. I'm gonna give you a shout out. IRC. 10 years.
Commercial.
10. Yes, I saw that. It was hilarious. 10 years sober yesterday.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Big shout out.
Fuck
Congratulations,
yeah, baby. What's up?
Chrissy.
It ain't easy to do. Not to mention he's at the restaurant all the damn time doing
Cheers.
his thing, stuff like that. I might drink one of these damn things. Get going, baby.
These
We gotta
ones
entertain the people.
Are untouchable. I could have brought you one.
We gotta entertain the people.
I'm going with the First Form Blue Raspberry today. By the way, they're starting that $300,000 challenge.
Yeah,
Go to firstform.com/Cam and Strick to learn more.
$25,000 you could win for different, I guess the most weight you lose.
Well, it's like a challenge, like a competition.
Yeah, and that's pretty cool.
But the app kind of helps you, along with the whole thing.
They'll explain all that to you, man, and we'll break that down as well. Hey, by the way, and on a somber note, sorry to be like this.
Starts Monday, April 1st, by the way. Just a few things real quick. Download the First Form app with the Cam and Strick link. So it's firstform.com/Cam and Strick.
Yeah, and sign up for that bad boy.
Take day one photos. So Cam and I did that. You had to take your shirt off and all that.
Yeah, we did do that. I look so pale and hideous.
then you press submit. It's that easy.
It's easy.
It's really easy to sign up.
But they got good things going
You
with
could win
that.
like $300,000.
Yeah. Well, I met a guy in there that did a challenge, and he showed me the before and after, and this dude looked like a fucking. He looked.
Can you believe that?
It's unbelievable. I saw my brother for the first time in 2 years.
2 years?
Yep.
You're really bouncing around right now.
Sorry, man.
I mean, no, it's good. It's good. So,
what do you want me to do? You want to stay on topic?
No, we were talking about Christy. We wanted to give him a shout out to 10 years.
Well, we had to do the first one.
Normally, I'm the one that's like.
Sorry, I got things popping my phone. Dude, we don't have shit written down.
Yeah.
We just do our thing. My bad.
Normally, I'm the one who's like, acting crazy.
It's all good.
And going from one topic to the next. So, you saw your brother.
Yeah.
Let's get down to what's his name again?
John.
So, John. JC, first time, and I've met JC before.
Yes.
Big shout out to JC.
Yeah.
Good to see you, JC. Where'd you see him?
I did an autograph signing down in Arnold, Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
They did a little trade show, and I went up there and signed autographs.
He came up there?
No, I met him down at his work at this, it's called the Pink Elephant, where he works at, next to a nice little barbecue place, man. Damn good barbecue right there. If you're from South County, Missouri, you know.
Pink Elephant is what?
It's like a big, convenient gas station that he runs. I don't know what exactly he does there, but I haven't seen him in two years. And I saw him for the first time.
He knew you were coming?
Yeah. Because I was out that way, and I saw him, and it was good to see him. And he looked damn good. His face was skinny, Like he fucking, you could
He
tell
lives
he's
out there?
Yeah. You could tell he's been working out. He's got his shit together. And I kind of walked around and talked to everybody he works with, and I could always tell like they all love him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got that feeling. So it's good to see my brother
baby.
for the first time.
Was
man.
he a
It's long
hockey
time.
player? Did he ever play
Yeah, he
hockey?
played for Chesterfield Falcons.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. He started getting kicked out of some games from hitting. He liked to hit. He was a defenseman.
Okay.
But yeah, it was tough on him, man. Like growing up and shit, because like I was getting all the attention with hockey.
Yeah.
It's all about me on the weekends, where the fucking money's going, or my parents are bitching because of me more than anything.
Yeah.
So it was kind of tough on him.
Nothing's really changed from that standpoint.
Yeah, I
it's
know.
like still all about Cam at all times.
Is it?
At your house, probably.
Yeah.
You don't have
like
any
not with me and
kids?
you. It's
No,
more like all
no,
about you.
no.
Who are you kidding? I cater to you, which is
Yeah,
fine
I
because
know,
Andy works his
I know.
ass off for this company, and we try to entertain as much people as possible, man. But yeah,
I mean, I
so-
always said that if you had kids, I've always tried to like explain to Cam, and those of you out there who have kids understand, like you'd have to share your time. Like
Yeah, I
you
know.
wouldn't just be like
I'm a pretty simple guy,
Cam
man.
time.
I'm a pretty simple guy.
I know.
Like again, for my 30th birthday coming up here, Kate.
What are we doing for that?
No. I don't. Kate wanted. We could have got a limo. We could have fucking done
your
that.
birthday?
April 15th.
Okay.
We
Oh,
could have
tax day.
fucking done this and done that and done this. And Kate's like, "What do you want to do?
Uh-huh.
Who do I invite?" I invite fucking my group of fucking friends over here.
Yeah.
Then all my hockey buds.
That's
Then
hard.
what?
It's hard to
Who,
do.
where do I
I
even
know.
start with that?
Yeah.
So you know what I'm gonna do, Kate? Let's go rent a gosh dang cabin.
Oh, that's the way.
Get
to
our
do it.
things that I'm gonna get to get my mind
Yeah.
right.
What are you
Go-
taking down with you there too?
I'll probably
What's in the
explore.
bag?
I'll probably explore a couple
Can you do
things.
a video? Like
No,
like an
it
Instagram
wouldn't be good for-
video of what's in the bag that you're taking with
It's
you.
nothing hardcore, but it's enough to get your mind right
Okay.
in a different way. Stare at the stars.
Okay.
Make a gosh dang fire. Just me and her. She wants. You want people to come with us? I'm like, fuck no. I love people, but like they could stay. I don't want to be in the
Not
same.
to the cabin.
No, I
Not
want
to
to
the
be just
cabin.
me and you. Even if we just sit and watch in our fucking underwear and watch movies all goddamn
you'd
day.
like that.
I don't give a shit. And then look at beauty because I know she's gonna pick out the baddest ass fucking right over the water, And
It's not really the time of year for that.
yeah, the trees
fall
are
would
blooming.
look beautiful.
The trees are blooming. It's we can walk outside. The bugs aren't out yet. No, it's nice. It's a good time to go. So
Okay,
I think I'm a good
well-
husband. Most guys would be like, let me do this. I want to go with my buddies. We're gonna go on a golf tournament with you. No, I'm just like, Kate,
I
let's
think
just go
a
do that.
party would be cool though too.
Where at my house? My house isn't ready for a
Not
party.
ready. Wait, is it ever going to be ready? You've been there for 5 years.
We need to keep selling. I got a big house, man. I got to fill some things in. I don't have room to invite everybody I'd want to invite.
Well, let's help
I don't have
Cam-
a fucking pool.
Let's help Cam get there. Anybody out there owns a business
Yeah,
or whatever,
yeah.
you want to jump on board?
No,
and,
it's a slow process, man. It's a slow process.
We'll help him get that a new addition to his house.
No, it's not an addition. It's more like just, if I had the money, it cost me a lot of money to really do the basement you want to do.
Yeah.
Get the golf simulator down there, set up the huge thing so we could watch the bar, all that.
Yeah.
It's just not ready
No,
yet.
there's
It's
a
all
lot
good.
of stuff you need to do.
Would you have a big party at your house? You could in your backyard. But a big party. You wouldn't
I've
want that
thought
either.
about it. It would have to be a reason for it, like a blues cup party or something like that. You know what I'm saying? They would
Yeah,
have
but
to
you
be
would probably do that somewhere else with a band.
a birthday party for like my daughter, like a 16th
Perfect for
birthday
that.
party, something like that.
If you want to have 200 people at your house, dude,
I'm not just having it to have it.
it
Some
would
people
be jamming.
Now I was like that when I was a kid. I used to have all the parties all the time. My
did
house
too.
was always the party house. People and I didn't mind doing that. I hated the cleanup and all that, but people always stick around and help out and clean up. But
Yeah, they would. The good people do.
they do.
And they crash over at the time.
I don't think that was that your style? Were you one of the last ones to leave to help clean up, or were you out of there
Oh,
already?
no, I would be gonzo. It depends on who it was. You know what I mean? If it was my close buddies, I'd probably stay in their parents' bedroom. Like my buddy Travis, I'll give you a little shout out, Coda Go Tequila. When his mom and dad would go out of town, I would
go
stay in
straight to
his
his-
parents' room, and then I would yell. Then I would like brag about it to his dad because he's so cool.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Jimmy?
That's pretty gutless, Jimmy. Big Jimmy. I slept in your bed.
He's funny.
I love it. Cool as shit.
And I mean this, man. We're thinking of all y'all in Russia too.
Yeah.
Because that is a tragic experience, a tragic event that took place there.
Yeah.
A lot of people, innocent lives, men, women, children, tragically and unnecessarily just died because
to
of this.
the terrorists, it's necessary.
Well, to them. Yeah, but most of us are not lumped in.
There's a lot
You
out
think
there.
there's terrorists that listen to this show?
No.
Okay.
No.
You
I would say there's a guy that listens to this podcast that has his hands in some
but you don't
crazy
know who
shit.
that is.
No.
Do you think there's somebody in every neighborhood that
is a terrorist? No.
Like you're acting like it's like there's
no,
that
but there's somebody in every neighborhood that's a fucking weirdo.
Oh yeah.
That maybe
and you don't always know who it is.
That maybe even hasn't done anything yet.
No.
But he's a weirdo that can control himself.
Oh.
Yeah, dude. It just keeps it together enough. But his impulses where he just would want to do weird things, but he doesn't because he has control.
I'm not so sure that's happening in my neighborhood.
Your neighborhood? I chirped your neighborhood pretty hard last week, and I kind of felt bad about it. Because
my wife actually thought it was funny.
Did she heard that?
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about her. I didn't mean it like that, because your house is so goddamn cute. It is. But you chirp my neighborhood for being older, but like...
Yeah, that's okay.
That's what
it's true.
When you have money, usually you're older. That's why it's older.
Not necessarily.
And we live a little farther out.
I mean, it's just an old... There are communities that attract elderly people. That's what happens in your community.
Not really, because when you're elderly, you don't want a huge yard. This is all huge yards and stuff like that. It's a pain in the ass to take care of. So I would say that it's getting younger and younger. It's all pain. When you get old enough, you have to move out of St. Albans because your house is such a hard...
There's just a lot of old people there, Cam. It's okay.
How do you know? Andy doesn't even show up on time. Now you're pissed. Andy doesn't even show up on time. He shows up half an hour late. The first time he comes out there.
Neighbor.
And then you got to leave right away afterwards. How do you know anything? You know what I mean? But I did chirp your neighborhood, which is I shouldn't have done.
On the radio too?
No.
Oh.
I don't think so.
Okay. No, you did on this, but that's okay. A lot of validity to what you said. Except for the high grass and the trash and stuff like that. That's
there's no trash on the street, but there's a couple of Hoosier spots that you need to go bang on their door and figure it out.
Everyone knows these neighborhoods where they have like teardowns, where like there's some really old homes and there's newer homes that have all been built within the last 10 years or so. So you just eventually there's a builder that's going to come in and knock all those homes down too.
So they found another UFO video off an oil rig near Mexico. Kind of blowing up a little bit. And again, I've said this before, like people are like, man, all those videos you see with your cell phone, they're so grainy, they're so this. And I go, okay, fine. Take your cell phone right now and run outside and take a picture of a plane and imagine it moving quick. It would look so fucking goofy, even with your unbelievable cell phone right now. If you went outside in the middle of the day, the sun's coming down this way, and you see something in the sky and you tried to film it, it would look grainy as fuck. Just like when I went outside and I filmed the fucking Chinese spy balloon 80,000 feet in the air, and I'm like, what the fuck? You could barely fucking see the damn thing. So like there's a lot of people and there's a lot of evidence out there of UFOs. Now, are they drones from China? We don't know. Are they fucking Russian whatever? We don't know. But if it is even that, the technology that they're seeing with what these things are doing, it's scary that they have that enhanced technology anyway. They could be they, them.
Oh, God.
North Korea, it could be India, it could be Iran, could be Saudi, it could be Russia, it could be China.
Where?
China. So anyway, is this interesting as hell, man? It truly is. And if you look at Kurt Russell, I told this story before. He's one of the guys that filmed in his plane in the 80s. Yeah. I think it was in the early 90s or whatever. He's just chilling with his son on an airplane in goddamn Phoenix. And he films the Phoenix lights that all these other people filmed. And these huge lights in the middle of Phoenix looking down upon the city. And he's like, I'm just sitting with my son. He tells a story all the time. Kurt Russell, huge hockey fan, by the way.
You know, I told you the story about how I had that weird animal that was in my... And
Don't waste people's time,
but I filmed,
Andy.
I filmed it. I put it on my Instagram.
We're only going to have to edit out some of the Trump talk anyway and stuff like that.
That's on you.
The animal that you heard, like it was probably, I mean, you live in a...
No, but it was very, very suspicious as to what it was.
There's birds that sound really weird. Yeah. You know what sounds really weird? Bobcats, dude. That could have been a bobcat.
It wasn't a bobcat. Because I know the sound of a bobcat. This was not a bobcat. I know that sound. Anyway, yeah, so hopefully we find out what that UFO was, man. I'm always interested in that type of stuff. Off an oil rig.
They said they said something to the effect of, and other people have talked about this too, where the UFOs go into the ocean. They have a secret lair in the ocean. Like whatever. Like, Cam, you're such a conspiracy theorist. Sometimes There's a lot of conspiracies
like
out
Alex
there, man.
Jones.
No, well, he's right on a lot of things, and he's wrong on a couple monsters, and he fucked them up, and rightfully so. But Bohemian Grove to all these other little cults that he talks about, fuck yeah, dude. There's a lot of interesting things. I'm up for a conspiracy theory. You let me know.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of bullshit out there too, and you just got to weigh it and balance it.
Mm-hmm. Ovi's scoring a lot of goals.
Ovi's scoring a lot of goals.
Since
since
the All-Star break.
Yeah, he's doing awesome. So funny though.
Chaser had his own conspiracy.
Well, Andy, me and Andy have been talking about Ovi for a long time. How much we love him. We're like, hell yeah! Can't wait for him to break this record, man. We want to do it.
Right.
But we also said he might not do it, and that's fair because
Yeah.
Andy, you brought it up because he was slowing down, and Andy's like, maybe he's not going to do it.
Maybe
but
you
we
want
want Ovi to do it, and we've said this a million times over. But once we're in here with Chaser, and Chaser was like, I don't want it. I want Wayne Gretzky to keep. That's one thing I don't want to do. And Andy just couldn't help himself. Say, you know what? You're right on that. And I'm like, what? Even Brody picked that up. It was pretty funny. Chaser's intimidating, man.
No,
sometimes
he wasn't.
Sometimes
but
that's
not
what I mean.
What it was.
Andy sways wherever the wind blows.
I can be. Because
know,
deep down, I don't want anyone to break Wayne Gretzky's record from a sentimental standpoint.
You don't want Ovi to do that right now and pump up the league and make it gigantic. He's awesome. Hell yeah.
Well, dude. Chaser had his own conspiracy as to him getting hot.
Did we ever talk about that?
No.
He did throw a couple,
it kind of went unnoticed.
And we didn't clip that off either. We didn't clip it off either and post it.
Well, we might have to.
Well, because we thought maybe he was joking, but he said it a couple times.
He said it again. He doubled down on it.
He doubled down, Andy.
So,
explain what he said, because you have a better memory than me.
Because I don't. Well, he just said, it's funny how he comes back after the break and starts scoring. I don't know what he meant by that.
Yeah, but you still get drug tested, dude, throughout the year. You get random drug tests. Mm-hmm. So even if fucking the last game of the year, Ovi can go in there and get fucking dinged, dude.
The league would have the balls for him to have a negative drug test right now?
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, I do. I think they would. I think that NHL's pretty legit.
For the record, I'm not suggesting I'm not saying that he would fail a drug test or that he's taking anything illegal. I'm not saying anything like that.
No. I think they know that.
But there's certainly been, people are always try to speculate. Well, in any sport, whether you're hitting home runs, whether you're, in your mid to late 30s, and all of a sudden you have this renaissance and you lead the NFL in rushing, or
your head grows when you're Barry Bonds. That's a different story.
What I mean.
But a lot of people, Ovi probably in his summer routine was probably chilling for a long time, and he finally kind of got in shape. Mm-hmm. And he
did not look in shape when this season
started. He looked terrible.
But next year, because he's up to 26 right now when we're recording this. So if he scores in the range of 10 more goals the rest of the season, this guy ends up with 35.
He's almost there, man.
Then next year he'll only need to get 40 goals or whatever. I'm not doing the math, so somebody may have to do the math for me.
But it's a
lot. Around 40.
It's still a lot.
And next year's 40 will be the most difficult 40 he's ever had to score in his entire life. Some people are like, well, he can just score 40 with his eyes closed because he's done that his entire career.
Not anymore.
But not when the pressure will be at its highest. And I'm not going to sit here and say he can't handle the pressure. If there's anybody who can, I would never bet against Alex Ovechkin when it comes to scoring goals. That's the one thing he can handle. He can handle the pressure, but it'll be a different type of pressure. And you just wonder, will he really get this done next season? I've always said all along, until Chaser came in here, that it wasn't a matter of if, it was a matter of when he was going to catch Gretzky. I didn't think there was any doubt. Chaser came in here, and I said, I don't want him to catch,
dude, you're pathetic. You're pathetic.
But
finish your thought because you have a good thought.
So I just think that next year is going to be wild, man. It's going to be interesting. How hard is he going to train this offseason? What kind of shape is he going to come into the season next year? And is he going to get red hot? Is he going to score 12 goals in the first month of the season, 10 goals in the first month of the season, where we're going to jump on the Ovi train and we're going to be on that wave all season long?
We've been on it, Dick.
And he's going to catch Wayne Gretzky next year. I don't want to see Gretzky's record get broken, though.
You sway in the wind.
I want Gretzky to keep that record forever.
No, man. Okay, but whatever, dude. That's so funny. That's so funny.
A lot of people scoring 50.
That's so funny. I do think that maybe he's going to score enough this year, and he's probably not going to get many next year.
Oh, really?
But I think he will.
Then the year after that, you think
he'll have to get 12. And then he'll do it, and then maybe he'll retire after that. That's what I think is going to happen. I think that's fair to think that way, too.
Do you think Austin Matthews is going to catch Ovi?
Maybe. I hope so, too. I like him as well. He's awesome.
I like Matthews, too.
So what, dude? You want these records, man.
Are meant to be broken.
Yes. Yeah. Gretzky's on everything. We love him. And Chaser talked about Gretzky, fucking how much he loves Greta. And we know Brenden Morrow loves Greta. Everybody does. He's like the most down-to-earth superstar ever. Gretzky. He is. But his name is on everything. Was healthy for the league, for some of these big-time guys like Ovi, like Sid, like Austin.
Record.
Let me say it, though. Like, you want Austin Matthews to do that,
okay,
dude.
No,
he's a fucking legit superstar.
He is.
He's the face of hockey right now. You would want that.
Do you put Matthews in your top 3 right now on the Hart Trophy ballot?
I don't know.
They always ask us to break down.
I know, I don't know
the league trophies.
I just don't give a fuck.
It'll be in December. Wow, who do you think's the front runner for the Norris? We're like, we don't care.
What are they going to do? That's what I want to know.
But this is a valid question because automatically you've got McKinnon and
Coochie
doing his thing, man. Coochie had 8 points in back-to-back.
Did you see McKinnon and Pittsburgh?
Yeah, Pittsburgh was a meltdown.
Yeah, but that was, dude, that's
McKinnon's unbelievable.
Colorado's just like, fuck you.
I got to give a shout out to Colorado's radio guy because I was actually listening to the game on the radio. I mean, is
he pretty good?
Freaking out.
Oh.
And no, in a good way.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Just full of energy.
Good, yeah.
And he had me locked into for a radio broadcast where you don't really identify a lot of teams with at least the broadcast on the radio side, He really had me interested. I was driving around. My kid was listening. It's
entertained, baby.
It was a hell of a comeback. Great comeback.
That was unbelievable.
And Sid had I think 4 points in the game.
Sid was unbelievable too.
His deflection.
And what's cool about McKinnon, because they both grew up Nova Scotia boys.
Nova Scotia, yeah.
But McKinnon respects him so much, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Really does. And you could tell it's genuine.
Brother,
They're trying to ask McKinnon about, being the next guy. And he's just like, this is my guy, dude. I grew up watching him. I grew up idolizing him.
I love that.
I do too, man. That's why if McKinnon broke a record, man. I would be like, cool.
Yeah.
He's cool as shit. He's hardcore. And he'll put you on your ass, too.
Yeah. And you know
he's
what?
He's healthy. I don't know.
And a lot of Blues fans may not like this, man. But I spent some time talking to Jared Bednar when they were in town. They're all cool. I like that Colorado outfit, man, in general.
So do I. They look like winners.
And Makar is cool. I had to get a jersey signed for a friend of mine. Makar fucking did it in 2 seconds.
I will say this. And we love Tom Wilson. But fuck, dude. You slash him in his face. I know it's one-handed, but God, dude, you got to watch that shit, man. 6 games, that just slows you down. You're competing to be in the playoffs. No shit. They need you. Him. And then you go and you kind of lost it a little bit, and you're like, what
do you think happens to him on the ice?
Dude, you just go kind of like what you did when I hit you.
Well, it's happened to me before.
And
I can relate.
So we'll look at this. Andy wanted to fight me. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you kind of go and you lose it a little bit, and you get so mad, and you're like, what do I do? I can't do this. I'm just going to, whoopsie daisy.
It happened to me with Chaser, too. That's when I really blacked out. Also, when I slammed my stick on the bench.
You scared me.
Yeah. I did, John Wensick. You kids don't know who he is. Go look him up.
Wire? You better know who he is. If you're a shit kicker, you know the shit kickers.
He challenged the entire Minnesota North Stars bench when he played for the Boston Bruins back in the 70s. And that's what I did, essentially, when I went over to the alumni bench.
Yeah, but we were laughing because you were just out of your element, and we're like, he's got, Chaser, here he comes, Chaser. And we started laughing, and I'm like, God, he's got that fucking look in his eye.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then I'm like, okay, I go, calm down, damn it.
You're like, I want him on my team.
I go, no, I'm more like, geez, calm down. Chaser's going to fucking bag you up.
Well, there's a bunch of guys that were coming over,
You all right? Chaser pissed me off.
They knew it was not right what he did. So good luck to Ovi and Tom Wilson, though, man. Somebody tried to tell me that, if you look at the video, you can see him get hit in the throat with a stick beforehand. I'm like,
it doesn't matter.
Okay, well, he kind of swung his stick. Somebody sent me the text the night that it happened, right afterwards, and they were like, how come Trouba didn't get anything for his high stick on Trent Frederick? I'm like, listen, we can't compare the two.
I don't know. I didn't see that.
This is Tommy Wilson, who's our guy, man. I love Tom Wilson. honestly, if we were having a draft of all NHL players, I would find a way to get this guy on my team.
I would too.
And any GM in the league would obviously take him, man. He is a unicorn. He's a rare breed to what you find in today's game. But this was...
He done fucked up.
But the human element is always interesting to me because when Morgan Riley hit the Riley-Gregg kid...
Yeah.
And, of course, it was Toronto, and the NHL world just stopped. Like, oh, my God. And it got so much attention. Player safety was stressed out. Everybody was all worked up. How are they going to handle this? And he had never been suspended before, right? I'm trying to remember.
Morgan? I would say
Morgan Riley.
not.
I don't think he had ever been suspended. Yeah. So totally out of character for Morgan Riley, and he got 5 games, right? Now... And people were saying, oh, you came down too hard on the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's only because it's Toronto, got so much attention. You're giving him more games than he deserved. Now it happened to a Toronto player. And everyone's like, okay, how are they going to handle it? Now the hockey world stops again because it involved a game where the Toronto Maple Leafs were playing. So it got a ton of attention. And obviously it's going to anyway because it's Tom Wilson. But still, even more magnified when Toronto's involved. And he gets 6 games. It's like, well, how'd they come up with 6? I had some people tell me they thought he was going to get 3 or 4.
I thought he was going to get 10.
I'm like, 3 or 4? Like, Tom Wilson for that? He's not getting 3 games for that.
Yeah.
They'll go crazy. But they gave him 1 game more than Morgan Riley in this particular situation.
It makes Morgan Riley's suspension look pretty steep because, I mean, of course.
Well, the kid didn't even get hurt. He just popped right back up.
Although it was, the goal was scored. You thought about it, then you skated over, then you cross-checked him, and maybe it didn't clip him too bad, but the intent was there. Or Wilson kind of got clipped a little bit, and he's like, he swung his stick up.
Baseball bat style.
But he's got 6 games on. Like, it's just, you can't use your weapon,
How pissed are you if you're the general manager of Washington?
I'd be mad at him. Like, dude, you can't do that.
Well, it's like, we fucking need you.
Dude, we're in a fucking race
Jobs
here.
are on the line.
I know. Ovi's going. Like, the mood's good. TJ Oshie just got 1,000 games, man.
Big shout out to
Big shout out to you, buddy. I will give another shout out, too, by the way. That Forsberg.
Oh, my
Philippe. God, he's awesome,
fight?
By the way. Yeah, dude,
he got pounded in that fight.
And I think that was his first fight, too.
I think so, yeah. Who did he fight against in Miami?
Cider?
Oh, Moritz Cider.
Yes, that's right.
Throwing bombs.
Left bombs. And
hey, I love those type of fights.
I know, but that's a pissed off fight. That's not like, where you want to go? That's more like, what'd you do? What'd you say?
That's
Let's
like
go.
Two skilled players who may never, ever fight again the rest of their career, spontaneously being so pissed
trying to kill each other
that they drop their gloves and they have no idea what the hell they're doing.
No.
And they're just fighting, And
throwing left bombs, which is pretty.
And Forsberg took it, man.
Took a couple bombs, but then what did he do? He went out there and scored a big time goal.
I think they won 1-0 in that game.
Yes, maybe. And they've won.
And they never lose. Nashville.
They don't lose.
They remind me of the Blues back in 2019. Nashville, the Nashville Predators are going to win the Stanley Cup.
Clip that off.
Well, they might not, dude. But I'm just saying. No,
this is what you do.
They won't lose.
This is what you do.
They win every game. They're feeling it right now. It doesn't matter who's in goal. They play their backup goaltender and they shut out Florida.
I know. Why do you think this started happening?
Because they canceled the Vegas trip.
Gosh dang right.
The first win they had after they got
fucking smack in the face, baby,
by Dallas was over St. Louis.
Yep.
And St. Louis is probably going to end their streak when they go there on April 4th. Although they may lose before then. St. Louis may end up getting in, man. Vegas plays in St. Louis tonight. Vegas has 7 of the next 8 on the road. They got to play. They got to go to Winnipeg. They got to go to Nashville. They got to go to Minnesota.
We have an easy schedule.
They're coming to St. Louis. They got to play Edmonton. They got to play some other hard teams.
Vegas doesn't think so, Andy. Vegas gives the Blues a 3% chance to make the playoffs.
No, it's up to 20% now.
Is it?
Yeah.
I saw
it was at 3.
Right before I came in here.
No, it was at 3, then it was at 4. I think it's up to like 20 now.
Okay.
The Blues have 2 games left against San Jose. They got a game against Anaheim.
Yep.
They get to play Chicago.
A lot of home games.
Calgary.
They still got
Seattle.
Dallas.
6 of their 10.
They got Dallas. They got
are at home. But that game against Dallas is the last game of the season. Who knows who Dallas is even going to have in the lineup for that game?
Call on that. And Washington's bizarre too because their goal differential is god awful. It's weird. They're just squeaking by, or they get killed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Excuse me.
Don't clip that off either.
I gotta say something that is painful for me to say because
What, lady?
I've been on this train, and now it's kind of annoying me.
What?
Torts.
Yeah. Okay.
It's too much for a guy who hates the media. He's always in the media.
Yeah, I know.
Like, you got to know what you're doing. There's no way he doesn't. I mean, to health bomb Sean Couturier, listen, you want to do that? He had like 1 goal in like 24 games or whatever.
Come on, dude.
I mean,
but
he's your captain. His ice time had been reduced. But I checked around. He truly does run that room. That is his team. Because I ran it by somebody. I said, how come they didn't give the captaincy to like a Konechny or something like that, a younger player who's going to be there for a long time? And obviously, Couturier is in the second year of an 8-year deal. Konechny is going to sign an 8-year contract. But when you announce it on a day off in Toronto, I mean, it's just going to create so much noise. You're benching your captain, who's never been a healthy scratch. And I'm not saying his play, and I'm sure they've had conversations. I'm sure Torts went to him several times over the course of this streak that Couturier has been struggling and said, hey, listen, I'm going to have to sit you out, whatever. I'm sure those conversations have happened. But then you do it on an off day in Toronto, you bench him in Toronto, and then he's I don't want to answer any questions about it. Okay, I get that. But you put yourself out there again where you're front and center and you're becoming the story in Toronto. They won that game. Then I think they lost the next game, and then Couturier, he came back in. So, I mean, the whole thing, and then they give up 15 shots to Florida, and they lose the game.
Yeah, I saw that too.
And they outshoot Florida like 33-15 or something. And so, obviously, it wasn't the best question, but I'm not going to chirp another reporter for his questions. He asked the question to Torts about the goaltending, and he just walks off the podium and leaves. And it's like, I kind of like it with Torts at times, but right now it's a little much, man. We're talking about Torts way too much.
Yeah.
And he's becoming the focal point of every single game they play. And I've come to the conclusion that he must just love the attention. Otherwise, he's not doing this all the time.
But I do root for them. I do.
The Flyers?
Yeah, I do. And listen, I know you said Sean Couturier, dude, he's a legit leader.
He is.
But when you're not playing and you're struggling, your voice
disagree with
your own voice only goes so far, man. Like, you're gonna call guys.
Oh, I heard the boys were pissed. I heard the players were
probably,
pissed.
but on the other hand, they're probably pissed. Like, yeah, it's our captain.
But they won the game.
On the other hand, it's like he's still not playing well, and it's a little wake up call. I don't know. Like, look, man,
he lived with Danny Briere.
Here's what I think
when he was a young player, Sean Couturier. You know, Briere's the general manager. They just named him captain. That's like his boy. You know what I'm saying? They were teammates. He lived with them. It just creates a little bit of a disconnect. I just wonder.
I get you. I think he's got a game plan.
Is Torts coaching this team next year? Maybe they don't make the playoffs.
But I think that Torts has a game plan. And he's like, no, I'm reading the room. We are not that skilled. Mm-hmm. We're hanging on. We're trying to keep this thing rolling here. I got to do it. I have to keep things fucking loud.
I don't know. Because
do you get what I'm saying, though? Like,
I'm on the same
strategy.
And I'm like, and originally I was. Sometimes you got to talk to other people. I talked to a number of Hall of Famers, Cam.
You have your opinion relies on other people.
And at first I'm like, fuck, man, if the guy's not producing, he's not doing anything. Like, you can't play him.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the wake-up call you get from him.
And you're just tight. It's
but
tight.
I'm also thinking that Torts just is the focal of attention way too much. And some of it is funny. A lot of it's entertaining. And a lot of times it does not bother me at all. Like when he sticks up for Kevin Hayes and still won't let that guy ask a question. That's kind of funny.
Is it more that he wants attention, or is it more that he doesn't give a fuck?
It could
and
be
he's
that.
like, this is what I'm going to do right now. Okay, it's going to blow up. I don't give a fuck. I got to get these.
He doesn't care.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And I'll walk off the podium, and these guys better fucking handle it. Like, we got our own mindset in this locker room. No, this is what I'm going to do. Mm-hmm. They all know me by now.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it.
All I'm saying is for a guy that hates the media, he's always in the media.
But if he wants to walk away, he does.
Will he be the head coach next year? Or will Craig Berube be the head coach of the Philadelphia Flyers?
Here's another thing with Philly.
And, you know, the Devils are going to offer Craig Berube. If Toronto bows out early in the playoffs, they'll be looking for a new head coach. Chief may end up there, too.
But, by the way, speaking of Philly, they've had a long year. They've had a long couple years.
Oh, then they had the goaltending situation,
More than that.
with the Hockey Canada stuff.
Yeah. What else did Briere have to do with Provenov?
His son.
His fucking son. You're right.
He's had a lot of distractions.
Imagine your
the
son.
Provorov situation a year ago.
Yeah.
But I love Danny Briere.
I do too. They've been through a lot.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple more things we're missing that went down in Philly. Just weird things.
Yeah.
But his son throwing the fucking wheelchair down the steps.
Oh, I don't even want to talk about that. It's not a reflection on Danny Briere.
No, but you better get
He just became the GM.
No offense, but get control of your fucking... Just like your wife doing something crazy.
My son did that right after I got the
And you're
GM
like,
job
that's not my problem. I'd be like,
Flyers.
fuck you.
Yeah.
Imagine
But he shouldn't have lost his job.
Or like your wife.
As the GM of the Flyers.
Hell no. Hell, no one's saying that.
Yeah.
That just sucks. Get control of your kid.
Yeah, okay.
It's like if your wife embarrasses you.
I had something funny happen over the weekend, man, because I love Billy Guerin, and Dougie Waite and these guys are fucking hilarious. Probably shouldn't even tell the story, but
it's all good.
I texted Billy. I'm like, come on my radio show Friday. Let's pump your tires, USA Hockey, all that. Big Blues versus Wild game coming up on Saturday.
Yeah.
So I immediately get a text back, and it's from Billy Guerin. It's a video. Like, leave fucking Billy alone type thing. He's fucking around, They were playing golf. He and Dougie Waite,
Oh, yeah.
So he's like, Andy, I'm hanging out with Billy right now. Leave him the fuck alone, just joking. So Ty sent a video. And Ty was like, Dougie, don't talk to my dad like that.
Aww.
And Billy G, just do the radio show. So then Billy sends me a video right back and he says, okay, I'll do the radio show.
Yeah, see, you had to have Ty involved.
Yeah.
I like that. I liked both those guys too.
They're the best, man.
They are. And they're so jammed up there in Mini-Men.
But you know what? Their roster's good enough to make the playoffs. They should not have had a stretch during the season where they struggled as much as they did. But I just don't see them getting in now. It's going to be... once you get to 10 games left in the season, you have to jump over more than one team. It's it's difficult.
We've been talking a lot of hockey, but I'm going to switch topics because we brought this up last pod. The Mizzou kid. Riley.
They found him. You were right about that.
They found him, and they found
foul play.
No, he still had his clothes on. I think his wallet was still in his pocket, although they saw his bank card near the bank of the river. And it's weird because, how drunk were you? And a couple people that we know from St. Louis went down to Nashville right when this happened, and they're filming live Insta story, and they're like, "This is where the last known whereabouts of him. We're looking over this little area. Maybe he fell in here. We're trying to look." Like, even if you were really wasted, it'd be very difficult to even fall in.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you mean you don't? It's not like a beach where you walk right up to the
No,
water.
beach. No. It's like
you elevated above the water.
You would have to jump over the bridge to fall in.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You would have to even if you fell down the embankment, you would have to get up and stumble again, and then you're in there. But then you're in the shallow part of the river. The river didn't seem
high. Was he in the shallow part?
No. They found him 8 miles down underneath a barge, stuck. Actually, exactly what I was talking about. What's going to happen? It's going to get caught up in something. Just got sucked up and underneath the barge. Mm-hmm. And he had his clothes on and stuff like that. It's just really weird. And I would say this, and I bring this up, it's not his buddy's fault. But I will say this. If you're out and you guys are on a trip and one of your buddies gets a little rowdy and maybe he just is not a good drunk, which we know people, I usually don't hang out with those kind of guys, to be honest with you. But you got to get him in an Uber.
Walk him to the hotel or whatever.
That's
the lesson you learn here because
who would ever thought
blame the friends.
No, you can't. And who would be like, he's going to go fall in the fucking river? Like, come on.
Right. And you don't know what was going on before that. Was he driving everybody crazy? Was he?
He could have been obnoxious as hell.
Andy. Get him out of here. You just never know.
But if you're going to get him out, I guess this is a wake-up call for a lot of you young guys or whatever. Yeah. Or you're a dad of a son that your son's 21 and he's going out or whatever, and they're partying. Take care of your buddies.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't have to babysit them like jackasses if they're being a jackass themselves. But I would say that the number one thing to do is get him in a fucking Uber. Just get him in an Uber. And Nashville's not like a hardcore place. Like, there's some weird areas and stuff like that. And no one's going to go think he's going to jump in the goddamn river. But I would say if you're out partying, if your buddy's obnoxious, hold him, shut the fuck up, you're going in here, and tip out that Uber driver and he'll owe you money the next day or however you want to play that. But get him back to the hotel.
Yeah,
and whatever he does at the hotel,
advice.
Whatever he does then, fuck you.
Okay, so
Does that make sense?
the story of the homeless guy wearing his shirt proved to be false. I mean, there's something bad.
I don't know.
Did somebody report
Don't
that?
know enough about that yet. Don't know enough about that.
Well, you said his shirt was on.
Oh, well, his clothes weren't, like he didn't like take his clothes off like he's jumping in the water to get a dip. Listen, I went to toxicology.
No, remember the story? There was a rumor out there that a homeless guy was walking around with his shirt on. You didn't hear that one?
Yeah, but I don't know enough about that.
Mm-hmm.
There's rumors about everything. There's, especially with something this high profile, you hear a bunch of bullshit. The facts are that they found him under a fucking barge, and he's been gone for 2 weeks. How did he get in the water? There's not really, like, you don't just slip.
Do you think they'll ever be able to investigate and
They're
find
gonna look
out
at his
how?
toxicology too, just to see if he's partying hardcore. And he was really
Well, they're going to find out what was in his system.
Yeah,
was
like, does he
there?
have
Because they're
fentanyl?
saying no foul play, but we'll find out that somebody slipped something in his
Somebody
drink.
choke him and throw him in? Somebody choke him? Did they find his wallet? Like, I don't know. Because my point is, like, even if you're wasted,
So he went.
Wait, what?
He would have had to jump in the water.
He
Wouldn't just walk in. I can't
Okay,
visualize.
here's my point with that. If you're really wasted and you fall down the embankment, like you're not going to fall, like you really have to tumble down to fall into the river in most areas, right? Like you'd have to purposely jump off the bridge. Like you can't just fall in there. Especially with the walking path that he's walking on. Like the river's not going to be just right there. Like there's a little embankment. You know, so it's not like it's hard to trip and fall in
Although
there.
they find bodies in there all the time, apparently.
Well, that's a lot because people swim in there, or they fall off their boat, or they kayak, or whatever. You know,
Is that a popular spot for boating?
don't know enough about that. I would say it's pretty polluted. Right
Yeah, I
there.
would think so.
You know what I mean?
Well, we're thinking about the family and all
so
that, man.
I could be completely wrong on everything. Hey, fact check all this shit.
I want to hear it from the fact checkers.
We're not trying to act like we're just like this is just interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's a Missouri kid, and anytime anybody goes missing, like it's just like
Did you
it's
see
worrisome.
the photos of that all black lion?
What?
All black lion.
Pretty badass.
You seen it?
No,
Like dark, like pitch black.
it's pretty cool.
Very rare.
Where at?
I'm not exactly sure where it was.
You don't know what country that's in?
Probably Africa.
Or what?
Like on a
continent?
safari. There was another, somebody else was on a safari in a cabin, whatever. They couldn't leave their house. Like there was a lion like mating with another lion, and it's like growling at the door and at the window. I'd be losing my mind, dude.
They're used to that. They're used to that kind of stuff over there, man. They just are. They are.
The lions are.
No, the people are.
Oh.
The people know how to deal with it. They're not stupid. The tourists are stupid. Most of a lot of them are wealthy. Just like the other day, a wealthy family wanted to go skiing. I believe it was the Alps, which costs out the ass. But it was like a cross-country kind of like really big excursion.
Yeah.
Meaning you're camping out on the mountains and stuff like that. And this family gets snowed in. And they all fucking freeze to death. And they can't find a couple of the sisters that are involved and stuff like that. Like, man. And then you look at the Google Maps on where these people were. And you're like, fuck, are you professional? Like, are you Olympic fucking cross-country skiers?
Right.
Or are you just wealthy and want to get a craving to do something like the Titanic fucking submarine people where you're just rolling the dice so hardcore. You're not really exploring anything. I guess
They're extremists.
I know. When you have a ton of money, you need a different sort of endorphin build.
Adrenaline rush.
Exactly right, Andy. So meaning like, I'm gonna jump off this fucking thing. I'm gonna do that. I'm into diving now. I'm into spelunking.
I'm invincible.
I want to chill.
Me
If
too.
you know,
I was always that kid where
me too. Growing up, big time.
like I knew where the line was of danger, and like
I didn't want to get hurt.
shit freaked me out.
I didn't want
man.
to get hurt.
Like even on a BMX bike, dude, like going like
Dangerous.
on some half pipes and shit like that.
Dangerous.
People would be doing like flips and stuff like that. I'm like,
I couldn't get hurt, man, because of hockey. So I was really, really, really cautious.
Same here.
Yeah, Andy, your football and hockey career. You know what I mean? Like big time for Andy. Like his agents were calling him left and right, being like, "Don't do things." But I was really worried about getting hurt all the time. If you get hurt in hockey, practicing, weightlifting, blah, 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 fine. But if I go skiing, like I couldn't ski anyway because I was on a contract at a young age.
Yeah.
Like I went skiing and hurt myself to avoid my shit.
Really?
Like Aria Honan did with the Devils, goalie. They Lou wanted to call him up.
Mm-hmm.
Arya Honan. They want to call him up. He's fucking skiing in Colorado.
Oh my God.
He misses the call up. Then he gets hurt.
One other thing before we get to Brenden Morrow.
Awesome guy, by the way.
The elephant that flipped out on that tourist safari bus, and with his husk, lifted up the entire front half of the bus with like at least 20 or 30 people on there.
Did he kill
anybody? The power of this elephant, Cam.
Did he kill anybody?
I don't think so, but it was pissed.
Well, it's not that big of a story then.
Well, dude, the guy like was driving. He's like, oh no, you know, he's like trying to like give out some type of command.
If you want to watch something interesting, and if you have time, and it could be good to watch it with the kids too. Morgan Freeman hosts and narrates a show called The Life of Earth, and it's on Netflix, and it is fantastic, and it shows every single era on how the Earth was made. They show the different animals and dinosaurs that were created throughout the different, asteroids that hit that were a global fucking disaster. It's really interesting, and the animation looks real. It's fantastic. It's on Netflix. Morgan Freeman narrates. It's awesome. Very informational, Andy. You should
I'm gonna check that out.
I'm nerdy. If you guys like that shit, what's up, baby? Like I love that kind of stuff. So if you got time, get your mind right. Check that mug out.
Get your mind right and check that mug out.
Yeah.
Firstform.com/Camistrick. That's our link as we get you to Brenden Morrow, by the way, who was unbelievable. Had an incredible hockey career.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, like
crush guys.
One of the best. You forget what a great hitter this guy was.
God, he
great
crushed guys.
Captain.
Yep.
He won a lot. He was part of some incredible historic teams, including the 2010 Olympic team for Canada.
Yeah.
The Golden Goal. I don't know if you remember that, Cam, but
Crosby
scored that.
Yeah.
Ryan Miller came on and told us what he thought about that situation. That crushed me as an American, as a USA hockey fan.
I know. I remember that.
That was a crushing defeat. But Brenden Morrow was on that team, played in the World Juniors. He was a first-round pick, went to the Stanley Cup final twice, lost both times, played with some great players, was towards the tail end of when Dallas was like really, really cool, you know? And then he maintained it. Obviously, they kind of had their own coolness to the Dallas Stars.
They had the swag still.
Still had it. Just a cool dude, man. And you knew that when he came to St. Louis, he was kind of one of those guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where he was hanging out with, like the certain players gravitated towards Brenden Morrow.
Well, you could tell, and Andy and I have done this almost 300 times now, but you could tell he's cool.
Cool.
Like he'd be fun in the locker room. Like you could tell he's a good leader. He's funny.
Very busy.
Yeah, he's humble. You know,
he has more meetings than.
He's got a lot of meetings.
Kamala. People might get upset at that. It's Kamala.
Hey, you better chill on that. They're gonna get you, man. Good. I want you to get Andy. Get Andy for once.
Don't get me, because you know I'm just fun and games with that. But Brenden Morrow was cool. He's busy.
Totally cool.
Very busy.
Yeah, I told him, I go, you better fucking start skating though. Okay, I mean like, but I do think he's the kind of guy that just.
You think he'll just show up and be able to put the skates on?
I think he's gonna skate one time and find his groove, and he's gonna go out there and dominate.
Hey, a couple things. Nick Leddy played in his 1,000th game against Minnesota, so he's going to get recognized tonight. You know who's coming to the game?
Who?
Duncan Keith is coming to the game.
Oh, that's cool.
And I heard Dustin Bufflin may be coming to the game, too.
Dude, we got to get him on.
Those are his boys.
Oh, really?
So I'm going to go chat with, hopefully find Duncan, maybe get him on television, but Carl Gunnarsson's here tonight. There's a lot going on. I know.
Nick Leddy, good for you, man.
Yeah, so big shout out to Nick Leddy. One of the best skaters we've ever seen.
Yeah, he's damn good skater. He does it effortlessly.
Good hockey player.
He's a good hockey player. He is. Fuck, man.
Not just a skater.
He's logged a lot of minutes.
Yeah. Firstform.com/Cam and I've been drinking my blue raspberry First Form Energy today, and you should get yours. They've got lots of different flavors. They are beginning April 1st, Cam.
Yeah.
The challenge, the First Form app, which has a big announcement right now. You can go to their Instagram and check out what the big announcement is. But they've got a big 300,000 transformation challenge.
$300,000
that starts April 1st. $300,000.
Yeah, they're throwing $25,000 a piece at people.
So here's all you need to do. You just download the First Form app using the Cam and Strick link. So you go to the link, www.cam-and-strick or firstform.com/cam-and-strick.
Yeah.
Tell the people what it is.
Firstform.com/cam-and-strick.
And then
Hook us up. I'm telling you guys,
Yeah.
if you're going to do it that way.
And then the app, it'll give you the directions. It'll tell you to take a day one photo. You hit submit, and you're in there.
And listen, man, the day one photo thing, dude, like, you just got to do it, man.
Nobody sees it.
You got, no. But I know it's like, I don't want to take a picture of myself. I get you, dude, but just fucking do it. It's going to motivate you. And then once you see what you look like weeks later, and you look at your old photo, you're going to be like, God almighty, I never want to be like this again.
You're going to want to show people the old photo based on what you look like.
You're going to show the people the new photo, but you're going to know in your own head that I looked sloppy and now I don't, and I never want to get to that point again.
So again, starting April 1st, check that out. Still get the bars, all the apparel, everything else.
Beef sticks with the cheddar.
Oh,
That's
I
do.
got Ty on the cheddar ones now.
Dude, I crush them.
Yeah.
But my fucking cat.
Oh, no.
She is obsessed.
With First Form?
I'll look at these goddamn things, and I'll be like, oh. She got into it.
Oh, my
She
God.
opens up this fucking thing, and digs in. She is obsessed with these.
She's trying to do the transformation challenge.
She's going to get it.
Dude.
She's 17 years old.
Take a picture of her. I want a picture of the cat now.
She looks good.
And then let's take
Little boo-boo.
additional photos.
Dang you, boo.
Of the cat.
You're lucky I love you so much. I do. My baby.
My eyes are itching just every time you talk about that cat.
She's a good kitty.
I'm allergic
Dang
to cats.
good kitty.
I never understood the cat.
It's fine.
I don't understand having cats.
I had that precious little animal since I was a young kid.
Listen,
my dad always had cats, and I loved them so much.
Cat people talk to me. Explain
dogs.
to me why you love having cats.
I tell you.
Yeah, yours doesn't really count.
What? I'll put Boo Boo like underneath here, and her head will stick out like
get her out of there.
And I'll tuck my shirt in, and she'll just lay there for hours, just like this. Like,
you let her out of the house?
Hell nah.
Where's she gonna go?
She's gonna walk outside, and a fucking turkey vulture is gonna come down, or an eagle.
Oh,
I have eagles in my backyard at the graveyard, and they'll look at Boo Boo like, "Come on out here, little Boo Boo.
Oh.
Yeah, let Daddy have you go out there and roll
Really?
around."
And
I left the door open the other day, and Boo Boo's like, "I'm gonna do this." Creeps around. There's huge fucking birds swooping around.
What do you
waiting.
think it would do?
Dude, I see it all the time. Come down and be like, kabam!
No way.
And Boo's like, help me. There's nothing.
What would you do?
You bring a gun out and be like, bop, bop,
No,
bop.
you
can't
wouldn't.
do-
You'd
hell,
kill the cat.
You can't do that. It'll drop.
Would you be upset?
What do you mean?
No, I'd
be devastated.
What
It'd
would
fuck
you
me
do
up.
if the vulture came down?
I'd have to miss the podcast.
Would you?
Yes.
It's not an excuse for that.
See, I'd have to miss the podcast. She'd be like, "What happened?" I'm like,
Come on and talk about it.
Yeah, dude, that'd be hardcore. It would be.
There's no way. I've never heard of an eagle or a vulture picking up a cat, dude.
Dude, type it in YouTube real quick. Go ahead.
And so when cats go missing,
go ahead.
Well, how come it doesn't do it to a dog?
Dogs are bigger.
Not puppies and stuff like that.
Well, it would do it to a puppy. You're damn right it would. They're hunting.
They just stuff that cat in their mouth?
No, they'll fucking pick it up and take it. They'll rip it up with their claws and then eat it with their guts
God.
and stuff like that. And the babies will eat it too.
You were saying in Russia that they tortured those.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Can I say what you said they did? I don't know if it's true.
They ripped one of the ears off.
Is that in the news?
That's what I saw.
And then they made him eat his ear?
That's what I saw. They're torturing him.
You saw it.
That's what I read.
Well, has he appeared in court yet? With a big patch over his ear?
Terrorists are in a different group. You know what I mean?
Well, you're going to go into somewhere and kill over 100 people, including women and children and whatever.
You're going to Russia and do that? They're going to get you.
You deserve everything you get.
Yeah.
So I don't feel
Well, we
sorry
had
for you.
Guantanamo Bay.
Shit, man. I hate talking about it because I don't, just...
Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah, that was in San Francisco.
The military embarrassed themselves a couple times on there, just so you know. Big deal.
Did they?
Where they took pictures of torturing the prisoners.
Oh, yeah.
And it blew up, remember?
So there's no pictures, evidence. Well, there are maybe.
I saw pictures of these fucking terrorists in Russia.
Oh, let me see that.
Open your fucking phone up and look. Good God,
send me the
dude.
photo. I didn't see
Now,
that.
again, you have to take everything with a grain of salt.
Yeah. Talk about the Illinois Recovery Center.
Chrissy Pondoff, congratulations, buddy. 10 years, man.
10 years,
You're
man.
doing
It's a
damn
great
good.
accomplishment.
You're a fucking badass, dude.
Warrior.
You and Eric Conley are fucking so awesome.
Shitkicker.
Everybody loves you guys, man. I want some of your gear, your merchandise that you got out. I saw the commercial, too. And you got a bed for fucking, you're helping people, man.
Yep.
And there's a bed waiting for you. And you know how many messages I get from people that just say, thank you for you and Andy. They bring you in the mix. I don't know why, but They say you guys talk real whenever you talk about this. We don't just talk about, hey, this is what it is. No, it's a inpatient facility, man, and it's going to help you. And it's in Swansea, Illinois, and they will take care of you. Christy's been through hell and back. Eric Conley's been through hell and back. They don't mess around over there. When I talk to the patients, man, they know they got something good. A lot of patients want to stay in there. Like, I'm not ready yet. Some patients are so excited they can see the glee in their eye. They're normal again when they're 30 days in.
And they know these guys have their back.
They have their back big time. Yeah, they listen, they talk. I get to see it, man. I see when we communicate with everybody, how they talk to them. Like, it's just a lot easier when you got somebody that has been through it.
Not every facility is like that.
No. There's some bad ones out there, man. Trust me. Uncomfortable bad ones. With dirty beds and no one gives a shit about you. Fuck yeah. Not here, dude.
And they haven't been through it.
They haven't been through like, oh, suck it up. Like, I told you, my buddies back in the day, man, like, I'd be like, God, dude, I'm fucked up. Just suck it up, Cam. Suck it up. I'm like, oh, you don't even know. Oh, yeah. Brutal. But I got over it. I don't even think of painkillers anymore. Don't even think about it. I got other issues. I might have to tweak. No big deal. I got to tweak some shit. But the fucking painkillers that I was snorting and eating, like you can't, like fucking Skittles for years, I don't even think about them anymore. No. They don't even cross my mind. Well, that's good. I don't dream about them. I used to dream about them. Nothing. So all y'all know. And I was eating more than you can imagine.
800-743-0971. That's the phone number. Reach out to me if you forget the number. I'll be happy to pass that along. You can reach out to Cam as well. We'll get you in touch with Chrissy and Eric. 800-743-0971. Did you see BG, speaking of Russia real quick, did you see her dunk at the game?
Don't waste my time.
Did you see her? Some people
Come on,
send
man.
it
We're
to
in
me.
live reads now.
Yeah,
we already been doing this
people
for
send it to me.
We do it for an hour and a half.
One-handed dunk, and then she
Andy,
gave.
don't waste my time.
She gave.
You don't even care. You're a fraud.
No, I'm not.
You're a fraud, dude. You're a virtue signal fraud.
LFG.
You don't give a fuck. He doesn't even know when they play. He was exposed last episode, and now you're trying to come back like, I care about it. You don't give a shit.
LFG.
Don't play the game.
I see you, BG.
You're exposing yourself.
I see you, BG. She can dunk with both hands.
Exposing yourself. You're funny.
She can go to her right. She can go to her left.
Good for her.
Hat launch, baby.
Yeah.
People asking me, what's up with Hat Launch, man? I'm like, you want to know what's up with Hat Launch?
Check them out, baby.
It's the best hat company in the world, man. Certainly in North America, you're not going to find one better. Quick turnaround. Every brand that you're affiliated with, every brand you know of has a story, man. Put that brand on a hat. Now, if you have a sports organization, could be a school, could be you want hats for your business just to represent, you know, when you go out and about. Whatever it is, man. Everybody loves hats. Pick the best hat company out there that's going to turn it around quickly, best quality, best pricing, best customer service, best options. They'll work with you on the design. They'll help you with the design, which we certainly need help
They want
with.
that yoink hat, man.
Cam doesn't know how to design shit. I tried to get Cam to design some fuse.
I designed the last one.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Did you?
Signature.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you did?
Yes.
No, he gave us that as an option. You like that option.
No, that's my signature.
Did you design that?
That's my signature.
Is it?
Yeah. That's how I do my signature. Let's just do our signature. I go, let's make the S on Strick look kind of cool too.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, you got fucking COVID fog or something, homeboy?
Yeah, it's a real thing.
Jeez Louise.
That's a real thing.
Figure it out.
So hatlaunch.com, go there today, man. They still handing out boosters?
I don't know. I ignore most of that stuff.
Don't talk about that propaganda, because they'll get you on YouTube, dude. I've seen them come after you.
On YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube.
And he lies. And he tries to set me up to talk about things.
Tell him about Hat Launch.
Hat Launch is a real deal. And we do got some hats coming out, man. People are bugging me about it. They want that yoink hat. They want a Cam and Strick hat.
Yeah.
Hat Launch is going to...
Some new Cam and Strick hats,
Cam and Strick hats coming out, man. They're awesome. Met them at a event in St. Louis. Got in touch. Dude, they made like 50 hats for us in like 6 hours. Yeah, kind of surprised me a little bit.
Cam, you're supposed to wear your Jansen 55 hat.
I got that still.
You still haven't worn it here. You're supposed to wear it today.
Was I supposed to?
Yeah, you were supposed to.
I was supposed to match today. Do I match?
Hey, listen,
Kate gets me my
outfit.
outfits.
The NCAA regionals coming here. People are like chirping the size of like the Centene Community Ice Center. Like, it's not their fault. It's a state-of-the-art facility. The NCAA chose to have the game there, and they're sending like 3 of the most popular programs in the country to come here to play, and Western Michigan, which has a good following too. Certainly not to the level of Michigan, North Dakota. Michigan State obviously is back in the fold as a number 1 seed, and they're playing at Centene, and people can't get tickets because it seats 2,500.
Yeah.
So I watched the selection show, and they're like, how are they going to fit everybody in this little tiny little, normally that'd be a good size depending on what the regional looks like. For this regional with North Dakota, who will bring the entire state.
Which is not much.
Ann Arbor's like 8 hours away. They're going to bring a ton of people.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun, man. I can't wait to be out.
Me.
I can't wait to be out of the games. Listen, I think it's going to be, and I told people this, it is going to set up for an incredible environment with having it be sold out, standing room only. They'll have lots of people there watching the games. And for those of you who can't get tickets, pay attention after the first games are over on Friday, because the losing teams, they may not want to stick around and watch the game on Sunday, and they'll be selling tickets. So look for that.
It'll be jam-packed, but that's all good.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Centene needs all the help they can get.
So hatlaunch.com, check that out and do it today. And tell them we sent you over there, hatlaunch.com.
Damn right.
Bellman and Bellman.com. Cam, at Bellman, you get what?
Swinging dicks. Bah!
Buick GMC on one side of the road, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on the other side, Cam.
A lot of options.
Where are they located?
Troy, Missouri. Up north, actually up 40.
Everybody gets approved.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how bad your credit is, you get approved with Bellman and Bellman.com. So check that out. Bellman.com. Say hi to Danny Boy.
Danny, what's up, baby?
And Kenny.
God damn it, Kenny.
And Dale.
The fuck? What's up, Dale?
So say hi to everybody and send them out there. Listen, you get sushi and flavored water too while you wait. Best customer service, man. They're not going to creep
customer service.
They won't creep your wife out.
They won't creep your wife out. But they're also not going to give you sushi or flavored water, which would be a ridiculous request by anybody. So Andy's got to throw that out there because he still thinks that shtick works, which
just saying,
it doesn't.
Dude.
But the swinging dick does, because that's legit.
They treat you like you're
Andy
in a
hates swinging
5-star
dicks.
restaurant.
He's the one that gets intimidated by it. What do you want me to buy? Here, I'll sign right there.
All right, Brenden Morrow, man. Married Guy Carboneau's.
Yeah.
I don't know when we can say that.
Those blue eyes, he said.
A teammate married another teammate's daughter. This may be the first.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Certainly the first in Cam and Strick podcast history. Brenden Morrow. Next.
Yeah, baby.
Enjoy. The Cam and Strick podcast is brought to you by First Form, baby. Use our link and do it today. www.firstform.com/camandstrick.
Get jacked now. They are the real deal.
Get that protein, check out the apparel, eat those bars, and drink those energy drinks. Firstform.com/camandstrick.
Yeah.
Now on to the interview. Hey, look what I wore for you today.
I like the t-shirt. Yeah.
Not even intentional, actually.
Love that.
What's going on?
I'm getting ready to play my President's Cup match at my golf club here when I'm done with you fellas.
Who you playing with?
I'm playing Rob Parks. He's a new member, but he's got some serious games, so I got to be sharp today.
Okay, well, we're going to get you ready for that. Don't you worry, Brendan. This will be the round of your life, man.
How's your game?
And we just hit record and we just go.
Yeah,
so we're rolling now. So we're good.
We're rolling. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I get better the more cocktails I have, so I got to get in and get a good base under me before the first tee shot.
Well, pour one out right now. Let's go.
Start drinking.
I got to get there first. So
Yeah, no shit.
Uber is available to come home, but I got to get there first.
So where are you at? Where are you living at?
I'm in Dallas. Kind of my kids are spread out. My oldest is a sophomore at Oklahoma. I got a hockey player out in Tahoe at a prep academy there. So we're down to one at home and calling Dallas home still.
All right, tell me about this prep academy in Tahoe. First off, I love Tahoe. I ran into a bear in Tahoe. It almost killed me and my family.
It was a stump.
No, it was a bear. Almost killed my family and I. But is like hockey big in Tahoe? Like there's an academy out there? Tell me about it.
I mean, hockey's growing everywhere. Yes, there's an academy, 16-year-old, 18-year-old, all staying in the same dorm. He's loving it. A lot of their hockey is on the East Coast, so he's getting some tough love and some treatment on some travel like we did riding buses back in the day. He's hopping on a 6 a.m. flight to get to the East Coast through Denver or Phoenix, and it's not a bust, but he's putting the hours in, and it's good for him. Grind it out.
Love it, man. Damn. So what do you do with yourself? Like, what's your job? Like, what have you been doing all day? In meetings and shit?
Yeah.
You've been very busy.
Meetings.
We've been talking. You've been very busy, Brendan. Just so you know, people need to know how busy you are. This guy does more meetings.
How important are you?
Well, he's very important.
I'm not important, but I am busy. I kind of got somewhat similar role to Chaser. I sell for Discovery Land Company. We got a property in Austin, Driftwood, and we're starting a new one here in kind of the Dallas Metroplex in Fort Worth called Maverick Golf and Ranch Club. So been the sales ambassador the last 3-4 years, and kind of loving what I'm doing.
Chaser keeps 50%. How much do you keep?
He's a bully. He's a bully. He gets paid a lot more than I do.
Wow.
So wait a minute, man. You were doing like some business stuff with the Stars, so you're not doing that anymore, or are you still involved with that?
No. I'm kind of the timing of that. I got furloughed through COVID, and it opened the door for this Discovery Land Company deal, and kind of enjoying it right now. I don't know if it's a full-time gig, but for now I'm loving it, and we'll see if I get back involved in hockey at some point. I don't know. I think the further removed you get, the farther away that might become a possibility. But right now I'm just enjoying what I'm doing. I think this thing in the Metroplex has got probably a 10-year window on it. It's a big property, so I think I'm tied in pretty good for a while.
Brendan, you can get back into hockey whenever you want, man. Don't
Yeah, no shit.
The window will never close with Brenden Morrow, especially in Dallas. So
yeah, dude.
It's good to know you got furloughed, man. A lot of other people did too, man. I mean, it's not good, but you know what I'm saying? It even happens to you. A lot of people got furloughed during COVID, man. That sucked.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. My job is to sit in the rink and kind of mingle with the crowds and the suites. Yeah. So when no one was going to the games, I get it. But speaking of hockey, I'm getting ready for Chaser's charity event. I skated for the first time in a couple of years 2 days ago. If there's any reason I don't have a good golf game, it's because my legs haven't stopped shaking since that skate.
Oh, I bet. So 2 years, really?
I mean, I was on the ice during Christmas with my son, but I didn't actually play a game. It's been a while since I played a game, and I got into just a nice little alumni skate, but the pace picks up. People want to win, and I just
crowd watching. There's a crowd watching now too, baby.
Oh, wow, that's going to make it difficult. I think you're going to have better hands than me, Cam.
I don't know about that.
He might. Actually.
So what do you do? Like, could you put some like if you're not skating? Like, how do you work? You train and you're working out. You put some LBs on. Like, it's tough to keep that weight off, man.
Well, I actually probably my weight hasn't changed. It's just been distributed to different places. So once in a while I'll train. I got a sauna. I got a cold plunge. It's the executive workout. So I do my best to make sure I don't have the fat face, but the body it was never good, but it's not at its best right now. That's for sure.
I get that.
See, I never looked at you like that. But then, like, doing my world-class research, man, because I told you I did a lot of research for this interview. You told me I wasted my time, by the way, doing my research. But, like, that was an issue for you as a kid, right? I mean, just in terms of you were a little chunky. That was your nickname. They called you Chunk. And that led to you maybe not being drafted in the WHL before you got there. And, like, they made you ride the bike a ton when you first got there. Like, tell us about that.
So from 13 to 16, we lived my mom managed a bar, and we lived in the hotel above the bar. So my brother was 3 years older. He got first dibs on chores. It was either you vacuum or you clean the toilets. So I cleaned toilets for 3 years before school, 13 to 16. And the kitchen was a bit of a hike, but I could pull beef jerky and have a beer before school. And I thought that was the route to go. And LBs kept adding up. So when I showed up at junior at 16, without even lifting a weight in my life, I was 230 pounds. So I was a big boy. I had some good numbers in Bantam AA prior to getting there. So I was a bit of a high prospect for him, but I was a big boy.
Gosh,
that's Cam's routine.
Oh man, today. I'm 240 right now. Actually, to be honest with you,
before work,
I'm 240. Literally. But I, looking up some of your highlights, man. God, you fucking you crushed guys. You did. Like, when did that start happening? Were you always a big hitter when you were young?
I think so. I mean, I was usually getting hit. My brother, my parents were pretty busy, so I played a lot on his team. So I was the younger guy. I think it helped drive me. I didn't want to be the worst player, so I was probably the one getting hit, and I just learned how to, I guess, use my leverage in my body. And um, when I was playing with kids my age, I was obviously one of the bigger kids, maybe not height, but size, and I think that's why I got used to playing in front of the net and having a good solid base that I couldn't get knocked down. And but yeah, I think the physical part probably came somewhat easy. Just was playing over with the overage kids or older kids than me my whole life.
Man, I'm always curious about this because, like, for the average person, it's hard to understand. Like, you don't get drafted in the WHL draft. Like, you're out of shape. They bring you there. You're on the bike and whatever, and you turn into this NHL first-round pick. You're playing for Canada in the World Juniors. So what changed from the time you got there? Like, the hockey ability must have been there. Everything else had to come together. But did you have that confidence to think that you were even on that path?
Well, so that last year in the top league in Bantam AA, I had 117 goals and 72 assists in 58 games.
You're like Gretzky. You're like Gretzky.
Yeah. So they couldn't knock me over. But so I mean, from a small town, 1,000 people, you don't really, I mean, it's your dream to play hockey. You don't ever really think that it's likely. And I think after that season, I showed up to Portland. That's kind of when the "you're riding this fucking bike till Christmas" story came out. My coach, Brent Peterson, had a roll of white tape. He called me in to the back room, ripped it off, put it on a bike. My number in junior was 29. He wrote number 29 with a Sharpie on it. He said, "Congratulations, you made the team, but you're riding this bike till Christmas." And like I said, I hadn't worked out a day in my life. I lived on Chef Boyardee and Pizza Pops. So once I got a billet family, good home cooked meals, kind of consistent working out and training, I did get into shape that year. I think I dropped probably almost 25 pounds throughout the season. I showed up the next year, 195, 200 pounds, had a pretty good season that year and was able to get drafted.
Wow.
Gosh, who was on that team you won the Mim Cup with?
We had some players, Marian Hossa,
dude. Marian Hossa.
Yeah. What a player he was.
Yeah.
Joey Tedorenko, loved Joey. Brent Bilecki was our goalie. Andrew Ferentz, Brad Ferentz. Did we have Brad Ferentz? No, he was on Spokane. We had some really good players that a lot of them maybe didn't have long pro careers, but they were really good junior players. Todd Robinson, I think he has some sort of records there. So we had some really good players.
How was Hossa when he showed up? Did he speak English? Was he just right when you saw him? You're like, oh my God, where'd you come from?
I love the guy. He was an animal. I actually lived with him. He was my roommate. We'd play, Sega Genesis or whatever the machine was back then, and my fat ass is just sitting on the couch playing, and he'd be doing squats. The guy was a savage, an animal, and he played hockey with his hands so close together, but he just fired the puck. He was sick in junior. Well, he was sick everywhere, but he was an animal in junior.
Yeah, man, Hall of Fame player, like just an incredible hockey player. I love watching Marian Hossa play. His brother was there too, wasn't he?
His brother was once he left, his brother came. I roomed with him as well, and I think he was pretty successful in the KHL or somewhere over in Europe. It never really made it here in the States, but he was a pretty good player as well.
Yeah, that Todd Robinson. I think he played in the UHL when I was like broadcasting in the UHL. He played a ton of professional games. Not in the NHL. He played a ton of pro games, though.
That's a tough league, the UHL.
Different leagues, though, man.
It's a tough league.
I think he kind of missed that window that back in the early 2000s, you needed to be big and strong. There was no obstruction. If he was either, 10, 15 years later, he would have been a heck of a player because he was so good on the power play and just a small body, but he was really smart, really gifted.
How did you guys get Hossa? Like, he comes over from Slovakia. Like, did you even know who the hell this guy was? Like, did you play against him in international tournaments or anything like that, or no?
No, I had no idea who he was. I think somehow we had a scout that was involved with the Winterhawks at some point that was now in Ottawa. And so he had like some sort of inside track. I don't know how it all worked out, but I know we we were kind of gearing up for a big year that year, I think. And somehow, some way, we were just able to find this kind of diamond in the rough where no one really knew that there was a possibility of this kid making his way to play in the WHL, and we scooped him up.
So my buddy now from St. Louis, actually, he's the owner of the Portland Winterhawks. Great guy, Kerry Preet. Give him a shout out. And St. Louis guy, he's relocated now. But did people get into it? Like, you're winning the Memorial Cup in Portland, Oregon. Like, it wasn't like you were in like a traditional Saskatoon or something like that. So what was that like, come from Canada, being in Portland, Oregon, and like winning a major Canadian championship like that in that market?
It was amazing. We would fill up. I can't remember Memorial Coliseum if it was 5,000 to 8,000, but we do certain events over at the Rose Garden, whether it's Teddy Bear Night or certain nights, maybe against Seattle, we do it, and we'd get 15,000 to 16,000 fans. So it was awesome for junior hockey to be able to play in front of fans that big, and they did get behind it. We had some good teams those years, so we had really good fan following in Portland.
Well, you had to travel like a son of a bitch, though, didn't you? Going across the border, coming back from the border. Like, God damn, that's a lot.
Yeah. There were some hikes in the bus for sure. We put the hours in. Brandon was 30 some hours, and we ended up playing them in the playoffs one year. So that sucked, but there were some fun bus rides. You'd get some, fan following and riding next to you, and some good shows on the bus. So there was some good times on there.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, man.
I get that.
I got to get back to you living in a hotel. Like, what kind of upbringing did you have, man? Like, a little bit different than, like, the life you live now, right? I mean, in terms of, how you grew up. I mean, you had to grind it. You're cleaning toilets.
Damn right.
Like, how'd that set the tone for, the rest of your life, man, and grinding it out as a professional athlete? I'm just curious what your dynamic was from a family standpoint, man, living in a hotel and having to, put in that type of work.
Yeah, I think it definitely shaped me into the work ethic that I had. My dad worked for the town, so he cleaned streets, picked up garbage, did the water. My mom, she managed the bar. So I from a young age, my grandfather had land, and my dad and my brother and a couple uncles would help grandpa out on the farm. So we put the work in, and I saw what my parents did, and it definitely kind of molded and shaped me into the player I was, and kind of my work ethic and beliefs.
Carlisle, Saskatchewan, Andy. Shit kickers up there, baby.
Hey, your head coach, man, Harold Schneps, that was your head coach?
We went through a few. It was Brent Peterson, Mike Williamson, and Harold Schneps.
How was Harold Schneps? Dude, he played here when I was a kid, man.
He looks like he's like
no helmet, no helmet. He played in the NHL when he was like 70 years old. He looked like he was 70 from the time he like walked into the NHL. He would like kill guys. I was like, who is this maniac, man? Yeah. But the fans loved him here in St. Louis.
Yeah, you know what? I loved him. He may not have been the best X's and O's guy, but
probably not.
But I loved him because back in those days, you got paid nothing, and he'd give me $100. I'd go to Blockbuster and pick up 3 or 4 movies for the road trip, and I'd give him the $80 change, and he was like, "Nah, keep it." And $80 to us back in that meant something. So yeah, I love Schnepsy for that. He always took good care of us.
But then you go down to Dallas, man. I'm always jealous of people that play for Dallas. I feel like it's such a cool city. It's gigantic. The fans aren't really on you, but they still support you. Like, it's kind of like a perfect combination, right?
It was, and I came into a perfect situation. They had great teams, great veteran players. The fan following, the Stars Club that Brett Hall's wife helped run next to Reunion Arena.
Darcy, look at Darcy, a shout
out. What's up, girl?
Yeah. That was probably the best club in Dallas attached to Reunion Arena. So it was awesome. Good fan following, great teams. And like I said, I got to learn from my idol, Brett, and some of the best players to ever play on those teams.
Holly told me to ask you about the first time you went golfing with him. I want the real story.
You want to know this? So I'm playing Brett, my future father-in-law, Guy Carbonneau, a couple more of Brett's buddies. One of them's John Daly, but not that John Daly. He was a golfer as well, but not that famous John Daly. Mm-hmm. And I hit par 5. I got a big banana slice. I hit my second shot. slice it over this creek, and about 200 yards out from the green, this creek starts. So I get out prior to it, go find my ball, whack it up to the green. And in the meantime, these guys have all driven over and got on the green and are walking with their putters. I'm like, I'm not walking 200 yards back to the start of this creek. So I just go to the creek bed. I test it out. I give it a couple, taps with the foot. Feels pretty solid. I get back, rear back, take a couple hard steps. And just when I plant to jump in, sucks my foot up to my ankle and I face plant into the creek.
Oh my God.
But they don't see any of this because they're up on the green, and I come walking up like the Loch Ness. I got mud in my nose and my ears. I am just covered. And so already I'm 21 at the time. I'm embarrassed with my golf game because these guys are all awesome. And then I'm this dumbass that comes up just full of mud onto the green. It was embarrassing.
You're lucky they didn't kick you out of that course. You know what I mean?
It's Dallas in June, so I took a wet towel. I wiped myself down. By a hole later, it didn't even look like it happened. I was basically fried up and clean and dry.
God, walking in that locker room with some of those guys, man, you had monsters on that team. Like, who'd you cling to? I guess Holly, but like, there's such an age gap there. Who else did you hang out with? Anybody young?
Well, there were some younger players. Brad Lukowich was around, kind of hung with Luco, and John Sim. I don't know if you remember John Sim.
Yep. Oh yeah, his son was in playing in the Blues
Nova Scotia
prospect camp, and he may have, I don't know where he is now, but yeah, he's got a son who's playing too.
We had a lot of fun. We had some good young guys. We had a lot of fun, but then Neuendijk and Hall, Modano, Zuboff. It was crazy the amount of talent. Mike Keene is probably, if you know Keener, one of the craziest motherfuckers I ever met. He's hilarious. He's got huge nuts on him. Nothing was out. Everyone, Hitch included, even Bob Gainey. I mean, he gave it to everyone. The guy was an animal.
Yeah. Now he was here for a little bit.
Oh yeah. He didn't like St. Louis.
Yeah.
It was. I shouldn't say that, but I mean, he came from Dallas. You guys had a way of doing things. It was a loud locker room here in St. Louis too, with a lot of big personalities, Pronger and all these guys, man. It was like, it just didn't last.
He butted heads, I think.
Oh yeah. It didn't last very long with Keener being here in St. Louis. I think he may have gotten traded for Sean Podine or something like that, maybe sent out to Colorado or something. But he had a great career. There's no doubt about it, man. He won a ton of championships. But we've had a bunch of your teammates on from Dallas. It just seems like a cool group of. I mean, from Craig Ludwig on down, Darian Hatcher, man. I mean, you guys just had to have fun though, too, right? I mean, there's a time to be serious, but I felt like you guys had a lot of fun too.
The second we left practice, we had this. It was Cowboys Cafe. They had the greatest chicken wild rice soup. We would go there. Carbo would watch like Young and Restless or some sort of thing on, one of those shows on TV. The rest of us would be playing Golden Tee or pool and having beers. And so the team really hung out together all the time. Things have changed now. People are living in different parts of they're not drinking beers, but things from those early years, even in Dallas, people were living in different parts, different neighborhoods, different pockets of the city. But originally, that we were all out by the practice rink, and we spent a lot of time with each other. We got really close, learned how to really drink beer with that group. Darian Hatcher, Richard Mavachuk, Craig Ludwig. I mean, they can throw down. I had Lyle Oline. I mean, we had some of the all-time best beer drinkers in these Dallas teams.
What about Modo? Did Mike go out? Did he party? Did he kind of keep by himself?
I mean, he had a crew he would hang with. He didn't always do it with the team. He had to, if anyone was ever noticed in Dallas, it was Mike Modano. So he had to pick and choose his spots a little bit better. I think we could get away, a lot of us, with going out maybe the night before game. Possibly that happened from time to time, but Mike was recognized, so he had to pick his spots a little better.
Yeah.
Guy Carbonneau, man, and we've had him on too. So, and I'm sure you told the story, man, but you got to break it down for us. So he's your father-in-law. He's your teammate. When did you first spot his daughter? Who was the first teammate you told? And what was that initial conversation like with Guy? Did he make it awkward? Did he make it really comfortable right off the bat? Like, break that down for us.
Well, I've got my version. I'm sure he's got a different one, but so I think the first time I ever saw her was we had the New Year's Eve party, possibly before that, but I was up. I think I was singing Guns N' Roses as a rookie. They made us get up and sing. The story, they think I'm singing Ricky Martin. I don't think I've ever sang a Ricky Martin song. Wouldn't know one. But anyway, I got booed off the stage. She came up. I recognized her. Wow, she's pretty good looking. Who's that? The questions are asked. I said, it's your teammate's daughter. Okay, I'm not going there. I'm a smart enough teammate not to mess around with a teammate's daughter. I'll speed the story up. Well, there was certain barbecues, Carbo's birthday party, numerous times he's saying, getting a call here. My daughter's here. Why don't you say hi? My daughter's here. We're going to this restaurant after the game. Why don't you come? My daughter's coming. So it was almost giving me the okay. Fast forward the end of the season, we're at a big team meal in San Jose. I remember it like it was yesterday. Carbo's beside me. Mike Keen's across the table from him. I'm in a conversation over here, and I hear my name. Keener goes, "So, Carbo, what's the deal with Brenden and your daughter?" And I just hear, I perk up, and I hear him go, "I don't know. The kid does not have the balls." And so I'm like, okay, well, yeah, now it's game on. And so there was a conversation we had after that, but it was more, we're getting to playoff time. It's becoming a story in the news. And we sat down, we had a talk. Ken Hitchcock was involved, and it was not an issue on our part. The media and people in Dallas seemed to think it was a bigger deal. Guy and I were straight. There was no problem there. I had his approval. And so that's my version of how it all went down.
Was he keeping an eye on you? Like on the road and stuff like that? Listen to certain things you're saying?
I'm sure he was. Prior to dating her, people liked story time in the locker room, and there was no more story time after I started dating her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because Dallas it's kind of like they cover the social scene there, so I'm sure that was a big story, man. I mean, Brenden Morrow, this young up-and-coming stud with the Stars dating Guy Carbono, future Hall of Famer, man. Like, what's the age gap with you and Guy?
20 years. When I was 20,
wow.
When I was 20, he turned 40 that year. So that was his big 40th birthday. Yeah.
And so was she comfortable with it too? Like, I mean, right off the bat? Like, what about from her perspective?
I think she would even agree. If there was somebody pursuing the other one, it was probably more her pursuing me. I was trying to stay, not mess with the teammate, but she was constantly coming around. And she actually said to her mom one day watching a game, she said, "I see this player with these bright blue eyes." And she told Mom, I'm going to marry that guy. So that's what she said at whatever, 17, 18 when she was. But so, yeah, I think she was probably the one pursuing. She would disagree I lie. She would probably say that I was pursuing her. I did see her. I thought she was attractive, but I wasn't going to mess with the teammate's daughter.
She's like,
she
Brenden,
couldn't help herself, could she?
She's like, why aren't you winning the Selkie like my dad?
Those blue eyes will get him.
Why aren't you winning more faceoffs?
Hey, did Guy ever have to did he ever get mad at you for anything? Like, just like, hey, sit you down and talk to you about anything like that?
Not because of his daughter. Probably like, "Hey, dumbass, why were you there on that penalty kill? Like, don't block a shot like that." No, we got a really good relationship. I got really lucky in the in-law department. We got a lot of the same kind of joys. We play a lot of golf together. We did in Idaho. We share a home in Gaza Ranch in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. So we spent a lot of time playing golf together. And I enjoy our time. So and he was a good guy to pick the brain on when I was, not really, I played power play. I never really killed penalties in junior. I was more 5-on-5 power play. And when I got to Dallas, I had to do the opposite. So he was a good, smart mind to pick his brain on penalty killing.
Yeah, I mean Dallas had that crossover, the Montreal connection with Bob Gainey and whatever. But like being with Guy in Montreal, how like he gets recognized everywhere, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, at dinner, walking down the street, we'd have. I think we went to a football game, an Alouette game one time, and we were walking down the street, and he almost caused 3 or 4 accidents, just cars stopping, pulling over, yelling at him, "Hey, Guy," and whatever they say in French. I didn't understand it, but he would say something back. But he's like a god there in Montreal.
How's your relationship with Stevie Ott?
He's the best. I love Otter. Yeah. He's a freak. I love Otter. You knew where you stood with him. He would be somebody I would absolutely hate to play against, but he was the best teammate to have. That's probably the best compliment I could give him. He's a little bit of a rat. He's a big rat.
Big rat.
But you love to have him on your team, and I would have went through a wall for him. I tried to protect him anytime I could, but he did a pretty good job at protecting himself.
Yeah. He was crazy back then, man. I remember when he was playing for Dallas, I remember it was like a preseason game. And like the plays at the other end of the ice, and I hear all this commotion. I look to my right, and he's like fighting with the goaltender. It was like a preseason game. So I'm like, it wasn't even like a goalie that was going to be on the NHL roster, and he's like swinging his stick with this guy. I see him all the time, man. Our kids play youth hockey together and stuff. I see him at the rink.
We love him.
He's one of my all-time favorites, man. I hope he gets a head coaching job, one of these days. So
I agree. He's got a screw loose, which is great. He's got a screw loose. There's nothing out of bounds. He'll say anything he wants. And I think he'll be a hell of a head coach. The players will love him. They'll love him.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, you have a ton of fights. And I'm trying to think, like, through your career with Dallas at least, like, who was a tough guy on that team? Because I know you had to fight a lot of people's battles. Who did you guys have? I mean, I know you had, Otter and Avery at a time, yourself, but any big boy? I'm trying to think.
Well, we had Aaron Downey for a while.
Right.
We had Chris Barch. So we had a few guys that were kind of the more the heavies, but there was one time we were playing San Jose, and Ryan Clough hit Trevor Daley, and I thought he kind of took advantage of him. And I tried to fight Chloe, and he told me no. He's like, no, send somebody else. I'm not fighting you. I thought I could handle myself, and then Barchi ended up going out and fighting Clough, and Clough I think he may have got the better of him, but he surprised me how tough Clough was. And I'm like, well, I'm kind of glad he declined that one, because I might have got my clock cleaned. He did me a favor.
Closey's a good dude. We had him on too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He went through.
And we had Trevor Daley on too, man. Yeah. Also, who is one of the best.
Yeah,
he's awesome.
You
guys,
great.
I mean, the names on your guys that you play with everybody. It just goes down the line. But we had Hatcher on too, man. We didn't know what to expect with Hatch. And I covered some Team USA teams, some, World Cup teams. I was around like a training camp for 10 days at one point. Like I saw how they all like interact, man. It was, he was always one of my favorite players to watch, man. He was so different. You'll never see a defenseman like that again, probably coming to the NHL, just the way the game is played. But like having that guy on your side, what was he like to go to war with every single day?
It was comforting knowing he was on your team, and I mean, I played like an asshole too, and there were guys that that kind of intimidated me and scared me. But knowing that I had that big guy protecting me, it was a comforting feeling. And he'd be quiet, and then he'd flip, the screws would be loose, and he would elbow somebody in the face or cross check somebody in the neck, or hit somebody across the blue line late. And things would change. He was able to change the momentum of games when he went a little squirrely.
Who scared you?
Actually, probably the only time I was ever scared, unfortunately, he just passed yesterday, Chris Simon. Chris Simon scared me. I was running around. He was in Washington at the time. He had the hair down to his hip. And I was running around one game, and he lines up next to me. Well, he skates around. He kicks whoever's supposed to be lined up to the other side, and he stands next to me, and he looks at me with these eyes that he was looking through me, and he told me, "You better slow down, or I'm going to kill you." And I kind of gave like a And I looked at him, and he goes, "No, I'm serious." And so I think I tiptoed around for that shift, maybe another couple. But he did. He intimidated. He put a little bit of fear of death in me. Chris Simon. He was an animal.
You don't want that left jackhammer coming down the pipe at you, man.
No.
Ooh.
No.
Scary.
Hey, did you have some post-concussion issues? Like, what was going on with that? I was reading some stories about it. Like, how bad was it? Was it more like doing some research with some doctors, or were you really going through a tough time there after your career?
No, it was more, I guess, preventative, just to see where I stood. My last year, I got 3 discs in my neck that are jacked, and then one in my low back. And I think it was more of a neck issue. Certain pillows, I'd get, the spins or concussion symptoms. Ooh. So I just wanted to check. I got hit a lot. I wanted to see where I stood. So I did. When I retired, I had some time, and I went to this brain institute here and checked it all out. But it was more just to see where I stood. There was nothing. Once I have the right pillow, kind of quit playing, having the stress of this every day, started to relax, and I don't have any symptoms now. It was just kind of preventative.
Yeah, that makes sense. Hey, listen, going back to Holly real quick, because you'd been around there, or actually, I guess you weren't there when he first got to Dallas,
right?
He was there.
No.
Yeah, he was there. I was just curious how you kind of had this core group of players and how he just fit in right off the bat. Like, what was your initial impressions of him, though? When you first, because you said he was your favorite player, but then getting to know him personally, was he everything you thought he'd be, or were you like, this guy he's different? I never met anybody like him.
So I grew up, I had 3 posters of him on my wall in my hometown. I got there and I kind of hated him. He was hard. I mean, I gave him a pass one time, or he gave me a pass, a hard one. I had never got a pass that hard in my life. And it went under my stick down the ice for icing. And I turned back and looked at him, and he just dropped his shoulders and did that slow one-leg kick, like, "Coach, why am I playing with this motherfucker?" And I was like, ouch, that hurt. Like, I didn't like him. He was hard. But as the season went on, spending more time with him, he's just, I mean, he is who he is. And I loved him for it, because you knew where he stood. And now we're closest to friends. But what my first initial thought is, this guy's an asshole. I didn't like him, but I love the guy now. I absolutely love him.
He's the best, man.
If you don't know him and you kind of get that vibe, especially when you're practicing and playing with the guy, like, he'll give you that put his head down, put you on the spot, chirp you a little bit. So it's tough when you're young around him, for sure.
Yeah. He and I think he probably got to see more of my game and realized just because I was a high draft pick doesn't mean I had all this skill. I played hard, and he probably realized, he's not really a skill player. He's kind of more of a grinder, and he relaxed a little bit on me for my passing ability.
And Brendan, like, we all had Brett Hull posters on our wall too.
Yeah,
dude. You know what I'm saying?
You're damn right.
I did too, man. I used to write him like letters, like when I was like in school, like in detention or something like that. I'm like, fuck, is he ever gonna write me back? I ran into him and Oates one time. They were having like beers or something at like a TGI Fridays, and I was like a little kid. I'm like, hey, I've written you letters, and you don't ever write me back. And he was like, well, when did you write it? Fuck, they don't give me the fucking letters. I'm like, he's like dropping F-bombs. My mom's right there with me. He's the best, though. Hey, man, I gotta ask you this. You're a young kid, you're coming up, and all of a sudden they come to you and they say, hey, listen, we want you to be the captain. Like Mike Modano, like a legend in Dallas, the most popular player there. Were you like, okay, or did you embrace it right off the bat? Like, tell me like what your reaction was, and when you first talked to Mike about it.
It wasn't ideal. It was a little awkward, honestly. I know how going through it. Arms Doug wanted to go in another direction. It was either basically you're going to accept the captaincy or no one's going to have it. So I guess from our point of view would it look better for someone to have it, or for it to just be taken away and nobody have it, right? So I think Army just wanted to change the identity of the team a little bit, go from kind of Mike's, I guess he felt like the team identity would be representative of the captain, and he wanted that to be more of kind of my style of game than Mike's, and so, I mean, ideally it wouldn't have happened the way it happened for me, and because it was I know Mike didn't want to relinquish it, so it was somewhat awkward, but Mike was, to his credit, Mike was the first one to congratulate me. Anything I needed, he was there to help. Just, if you need anything, just come to me. So Mike was great, even though it was somewhat awkward that I knew he didn't want to give it up.
Yeah, I bet that was a little bit awkward.
But I mean, you were the obvious choice, though. Like for Army, like to if they were going to make a change, and you had a great run as a captain, man, go down as one of the best captains in that franchise history. But I was just curious, man. That had to be like, it's got to be a little bit awkward, but at the same time, it's an honor, right? You got to look at it both ways.
Yeah, it was an honor. It was certainly an honor, but yes, it was optics wise. It's kind of more how I came to it was, it would look better if somebody had the captaincy than if it was just to be taken away from Mike and no one have it. Optically, I felt like this was the better option. So that's why I was, I guess, a little more comfortable doing it, but it was still just awkward.
Did the vets on the team, did they come to you and fully support it? Did that make it easier?
Yeah, we didn't have the Mike Keens and the Brian Scrudlins and all these veterans that I had my early years, but they were everyone. We led, our team always led as a group, and so Marty Turco was kind of, I was not the most vocal guy. Marty probably, for a goalie, did a lot more of the vocal leading. I tried to lead a lot more by example, but I definitely did have a good solid group where we led by committee and we all talked about things.
So he would be vocal, Marty, in the locker room, during the game and stuff like that. Usually that's not the case, as a goalie.
I mean, goalies are a little strange, and Marty's always strange in the opposite direction. Like Eddie the Eagle was quiet, didn't want his gear touched, and he had his own warm-up and routine. Marty did everything the players did, and he actually probably took it to the extreme the other way. So it wasn't abnormal for us because that was just Marty.
I get you.
We had Marty and Eddie Belfour on. Eddie, he's one of the most interesting players I've ever seen. As a young guy, did he like you right off the bat? Did you like him? Were you afraid of him?
He talked to you?
Yeah, he talks. Yeah, I wasn't afraid of him. I learned early on, you don't kick his pads or don't trip on his pads when you're walking by in the locker. He had some superstitions that you became aware of, and you don't mess with Eddie on game day. But I knew the rules and I followed them, so I had a good relationship with Eddie.
Man, you scored some big time goals, especially that 4 overtime goal against, I believe, the Sharks.
Yeah.
How many minutes did you play that night, and how exhausted were you afterwards? It's such a long game.
That was the same game. If you saw the highlight earlier where I hit Milan McCulloch at the end of the game.
God.
Yeah, I'd be suspended. Who knows? They'd throw the book at me for that one.
I don't know. That was, dude, you just hit him solid, dude.
It was solid.
You still get suspended.
Yeah, shit. It's too hard.
I can't remember. I played a lot. It was almost 60 minutes. It was almost a full game. Had 19 hits in the game. So I was trying to get an IV. I can't remember if it was the second overtime or third overtime. I was trying to get IVs, and I hate needles, and they couldn't keep it in. I'm spewing blood everywhere. So I gave up and just tried to drink water, but everyone was cramping. It was a long game. So luckily we got on a power play and Roby made a good pass and we were able to finish it off.
Hey, I hate to ask you about this, but Marc-Andre Bergeron, dude, when he flipped you, I mean, I'm used to seeing you hit and just absolutely fucking crush guys. Yeah. And there's a lot of that. You got a lot of fights too, man. But dude, I don't remember seeing you get hit like that, ever.
So, I mean, he got me. Good hit, good on you. But I'm gonna blame this back then, I don't think he played much, or he came in late in the season.
Power play guy, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and we had our scouting, and you're running through everyone, and that was his scouting report from our whoever did, because I think that was even in the playoffs that hit. So that you sit down and you go over each player individually, and he was great shot, power play guy, doesn't play physical. And so I've never tried the toe drag in my life, and that was the first and only time I think I ever tried one, and he lit me up. I did a complete flip, so good on him. But the scouting report was wrong. That kid actually he can finish a check.
Hell yeah!
What'd your son say when he saw that on YouTube? Like, what?
What are you doing,
Keep your head up, Dad. Keep your head up, Dad.
It's like you tell me to do.
Yeah.
Keep your own head up.
Hey, man, the 2010 Olympics.
Yeah.
That's cool. You know what I'm saying? No one could ever take that away from you.
Yeah, that was so awesome. The weird thing about that was it was actually more relief than joy winning, honestly, being Canadian and having it in your backyard. It wasn't so much celebration. It was almost just like, whew, thank God we were able to do that. And for me personally, they do they randomly select the people for drug tests. So as we're leaving the rink, the ice surface, you got your little shadow that comes up, and it was myself again. I can't remember who the other person was, but you get through the media scrum, get into the locker room, and this guy's just standing at my feet. So I said, you know what? I can do this. I can bang this out in 15 minutes. So I rip into the back, do my drug testing, give my urine, and the paperwork took just forever. And by the time I got back to the locker room, a lot of guys have already showered up and left, and the prime minister and Gretz and everyone have been in and kind of congratulated the team. And I missed out on all of this because I was in getting my shit done. So that kind of sucked. But I mean, yeah, of course, it was the biggest thing I ever did in hockey, and biggest trophy I ever won was that Olympic gold. So just great team, great teammates. It was awesome.
Yeah. Who'd you play with? Getzlaf and Perry? Like, who'd you play with the most in that tournament?
Yeah, so I started. Well, there was 4 of us on the fourth line, and it was Bergeron, myself, maybe Mike Richards. I can't remember exactly who the 4 of us were that kind of split up time. And we ended up losing to USA, I think 5-2 in the round robin.
Yeah.
And Babcock called me in and he said, I'm going to make a change. We may not win this thing, but we're not going to get pushed around anymore, because they kind of gave it to us pretty good. And so he moved me up, and I just skated around with my head cut off. I tried to run into everything out there. If I couldn't hit anyone, I'd hit the glass, and the fans would scream. And it got a big bump in minutes for me. And those 2 players are big and heavy players in the puck. And I'd go stand to the front of the net and hope one went in off me. And it ended up, I got a couple that way.
So you're the only one that had to take was it a piss test afterwards?
No, it was a piss test, but there was me, Ginla, and I can't remember the other person, but those guys were smarter than me, and they didn't care that the shadow was just in the locker room. I wanted to get in, get out, get rid of this guy so I could enjoy celebrating without having this guy stand at my feet the entire time. They hung out in the locker room with Iggy and who the other player was that I can't remember, but I just thought I could get in, get it over with before everyone was gone.
What if you say no? What would happen? You already won. Yeah. What happens?
Well, I guess the fear would be they would disqualify the team, right? Because I don't know. I don't know, but I would assume it's the Olympics. If I declined a drug test, they might disqualify us.
I'm trying to remember. Ryan Miller was telling us a similar story.
Yeah,
they just like lost. And he had to go do a drug test or some shit like after they lost.
They randomly selected 2 or 3 guys each game, and I think Iggy, that was the only game I had to do it, was the gold medal game. But I think Iggy got selected randomly like 3 or 4 times throughout the tournament.
They're like, I don't know, this Brenden Morrow, he's skating like really fast.
Hard.
He's crushing guys. We need to drug test him.
Yeah, he's a little too fast.
He's playing with Getzlaf and Perry. We need to drug test him.
What if you had like a little bit of like just something in you, and you kind of and you got caught? So they would have fucking they would have sent that gold medal back and just kind of squashed it all?
Probably.
Wow.
I think that's how it works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck,
We've
that's
seen it
scary.
with sprinters and everything.
Yeah, it's not a team
Hey,
thing.
Crosby, what'd you think of him? And then you got to play with him for a little bit in Pittsburgh as a young kid, like the young Crosby. Like, what were your impressions? Like, were you hanging out with him and getting to know him a little bit at the Olympics?
I didn't have a ton of just personal interaction at the Olympics. Everyone was kind of together, and we were in the cafeteria as a team together. I think my impression was that he just couldn't miss. Like I'd go down and try to shoot on these goalies, and I'd hit him. I didn't have any room to shoot to score, and I just feel like everything he shot, he just didn't seem to miss. He'd shoot low. He'd pick the corner on Brodeur. He just everything was quick at a fast pace. I'd dust the thing off, stop moving my feet, shoot it. He did everything quick and solid ass on him, low base. He'd be in the corner. You couldn't push him over. He wasn't a giant guy, but he had legs and an ass. You just couldn't move him.
Anybody that you got a greater appreciation for, like on that team, who you didn't really know a whole lot, maybe you didn't like you're playing with a guy like Chris Pronger, for example, like just seeing like how good like he is, for example, or any of those guys on that team, like anybody stand out?
I don't know, all of them. I think Shea Weber, that bomb that he had and how strong he was, I thought he had a really good couple weeks there. And he was able, play with Sheldon Surrey, and I always thought he had no control over the puck, and I was scared this one's going to hit me in the face. Weber shot bombs, but he knew where they were going. He would keep them low. He was friendly to the guys in front of the net.
Surrey, whose dog attacked Chaser?
Yes.
You hear about that?
Were you there
when it happened?
Oh,
yeah.
That's right. That's a Hoosier move.
I mean, Chaser, he's like cleaning off his ankle like in our studio, like before every game,
And he had to go sell property.
Sheldon Surrey told us the story too. I mean, poor Chaser, man. That was tough to get bit by a dog, man.
Hey, did you ever hang out with Pantera, Vinny and Dimebag?
Vinny Paul, yeah.
Yeah.
Prior to my wife dating her, I spent some time at the clubhouse with Vinny and the Pantera boys.
Yeah.
Prior to Guy Carbonneau watching you.
Yeah. Just curious. My favorite band. I always ask that question, man. They were great.
Hey, a couple more things, man. You've been great. We'll let you go.
Appreciate it, man.
You come to St. Louis, and listen, I know you made some lifelong friends here in St. Louis too. Some of you're only here for 1 year, but you got to meet people like Chaser and Steiner and Otter. You already knew. And he came here that year, I believe, right? The year you were here. Is that the year Otter got traded? I mean, I'm just curious your reflections of being here for a year, in St. Louis.
Yeah, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I wasn't sure. I wanted, Army was my guy. I loved Army. I wasn't sure if I wanted another year with Hitch, but I loved it. Hitch was great. The fan base, the support for the teams in St. Louis was great. Fortunately for me personally, breaking my foot kind of ended the season. That sucked. I loved the guys. To me, it felt like they were an old school team. We would go to Jax's house and have beers and we were really close. And that was a different experience than I was my later years in Dallas, just how close and tight knit that team was in St. Louis. So I was hoping for better things, and we got up against a tough team in Chicago. But I loved my experience, and like you said, yes, I have lifetime friends. Jax and I were not tight as competitors against each other. I got to meet him a little bit at Gaza Ranch, our summer home, and I absolutely love that guy as well.
Yeah,
what a teammate.
He's old school. What about Hitch? Did you get along with Hitch? Like in Dallas, and then now the carryover, you knew what you were getting into.
He was hard on me because are you going to be hard on me or are you going to be hard on Modano and Hall? He was hard on me, but he got the better of me. But later in my career, I didn't feel like I kind of needed all that. Come on, Brendan, fine, get your ass. I didn't think I needed that or wanted to go through it again, but it was a different experience for me as a veteran guy being with Hitch than younger, and I'm glad I made that choice.
All right, couple things about your time in Tampa Bay, man. Because I remember watching, Coop had just gotten there. You had Ben Bishop, St. Louis kid, as your goalie. Did you think a guy like Kucherov was going to end up becoming what he is? I mean, he's leading the NHL in scoring as it is today. He had 4 more points last night. That guy is unreal. I mean, people got pissed off at him at the All-Star game and all that shit, but, like, he's so damn good. Like, what were you thinking about him when you got to watch him play? Like, you expect him to evolve into this type of player, and what was he like off the ice?
He was so smooth. You do drills in practice where you come out of the corner and try to stuff the puck on the goalie. And I think he was 95% he'd score. It was incredible how smooth he could skate and control the puck. So I didn't think he would be maybe the leading scorer in the NHL, but I knew he was a heck of a player and somebody that was probably under the radar a little bit when you got Stamkos and all the other star players that we had. He was certainly gifted, and I saw something in him. I just didn't know he was going to be this good.
I remember Ben Bishop telling me that this Andre Vasilevsky is going to be the best goalie in the world. Like, even when Bish was at top of his game and considered among the best in the league. Obviously, he went to Dallas and did his thing there too. But were you thinking the same? Like, did you think this guy had that level of potential?
Yeah. Well, both of them. I hated it, and in practice, he couldn't score on either of them. But they were different. Like Vasilevsky, I don't think he had a TV in his house. He would read books and drink water and ride the bike. Like he was really dedicated to being a professional and playing hockey for a long time. And so I thought that was a little strange and nerdy to not have a beer I think when we lost to Chicago Game 6 Stanley Cup Finals, I was able to have a glass of wine with Vasilevsky, but that might have been the only time all year I saw him with alcohol. So he puts the work in, but both those guys were great goalies. So Bish being the player he was, you kind of knew Vasilevsky was going to do the same.
Yeah, it's a good duo right there.
Did you think it was over for you? Like, I mean, and you got to the Stanley Cup Finals second time because you played against Jersey too. Like your first or second year?
Rookie year, yeah.
Yeah, rookie year in the league, man. You were so good back then too, man. I remember watching. That was a hell of a series. I was hoping Dallas was going to pull it off. But then you get back there in your last year of your career, man, that's crazy too. What were your emotions like when that was over? Were you devastated, or could you just kind of appreciate, how far you'd come as a player?
Yeah, I was devastated. I think the 3 games we won, or the 2 games we won, we probably deserved to lose, and the 4 we lost, we probably deserved to win. So there was, my body was broken down. I couldn't lift weights like I wanted to. There was no, power where I needed it. So I kind of knew I was done. I was hanging on by a thread as it was, just kind of probably being a good guy in the locker room was really why I was there, because the game was declining. There was no power in the legs anymore. So I kind of knew it was over. So, I mean, there's a lot of emotions going through. It was in Chicago. Turco was there. I had some, obviously my wife and family was there. So, it just, it was a shitty ending. I guess to bookend your career in Stanley Cup Finals is kind of neat, but losing it sucks.
Did you know it was over, like then and there, or did you think you were going to play another year?
I wasn't certain. I didn't want, if I could go back to Tampa again or maybe Dallas, I was okay with. I told my agent I'd do either of those, but I didn't want to move my family around again, just the age they were at. For schooling purposes. And so there were a couple offers for basically league minimum, come in and help the young guys. But I didn't want to be the worst player on the team. I was not used to being average, and I couldn't train like I wanted to. So I guess I didn't know at the time, right after Game 6, but probably a month or 2 removed, I knew it was, once I was not going to one of those 2 teams, I wasn't too motivated to go anywhere else.
It's not fun being the worst player on the team. Trust me on that. Wears you out. Wears you out.
Hey, but you're coming in April 5th, man. We're excited to see you.
Get some ice time, because me and you are going to be in the same line, and we're going to stink up the fucking place.
Are you playing on the Blues team, or are you playing on the NHL team?
Playing on Blues team.
Okay.
I think I'm Blues, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Nice, man.
Get some ice time. All right.
Get some ice time.
Hey,
Hey, good luck in your golf outing
man.
today, too, man.
See you soon, buddy.
Thanks for
Later,
doing
buddy.
this. See you, Brendan. The Chemistry Podcast is brought to you by Bellman. Behlmann. Bellman Automotive. Located where?
Troy,
Missouri. Buick GMC on one side of the street. Right on the other side, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Get yourself some new wheels in time for the winter. That was Brenden Morrow here on the Chemistry Podcast. Very cool. His father-in-law is a Hall of Famer. He can do anything he wants. He could get back into hockey if he wanted to.
He's up in Gaza.
He's doing his thing in Gaza. He's playing golf.
That's where the wealthy folk are, man. We're not invited up.
He's doing some stuff with Discovery Properties, too.
We're just not invited to that group.
That's not true.
Well, I mean, like, I guess we could get invited up there, but, like, that's the big boys, you know. Yeah, I'm interested in Gaza. Let me look at some property. No,
7 schmil.
You know you're not.
For a 2-bedroom.
Yeah.
Actually, I shouldn't talk like that because Chaser might get back. I don't even know if that's true.
Yeah, I don't know either.
They may have like much lesser expensive
it probably should
options.
Be. It's like one of the most beautiful
and they
places
have more
in the world.
expensive options.
Yeah, and so I guess like
there's a lot of beautiful places in the world. It just so happens it's a popular hangout for. It's very beautiful, but
that's
a lot
like
of
one of the most beautiful places in the United States.
It is.
Idaho?
It's not Kauai. Hawaii, you know.
Well, they have a property down there, don't they?
They have their Discovery has stuff everywhere.
That's what I mean. Discovery, because he just said he wants to open up somewhere, I believe in Arizona too. So I was going to ask him that too.
No,
like
they did. He did say somewhere.
Something like that. So I'm like, do you guys just take a drone or satellite and just look at the most beautiful landscape in all of the United States and say, hey, this is where we want to start this thing. Hey, here we go. Here we go, right here. Where's the most beautiful place in Idaho? Here we go. That's pretty cool, you know.
I always like to ask these Dallas Stars guys, and having Brenden Morrow on was amazing. And we've had Modano on too, but like it's just such an interesting situation.
That was a weird interview for me.
To take. Yeah, it was.
Yeah. I was going through a
Tell
weird
Modano
time.
what you were going through.
No, I don't know if I want to bring that back up.
Well, you were just coming back from Nashville, and your wife got mad at you.
Yeah.
You had some stuff on your mind.
Yeah. We partied pretty hard in Nashville.
You didn't do anything wrong.
No. But it just wasn't
It was
good.
a quick turnaround.
It just was bad, you know.
But Modano was great, and he legend, you know, just has the statue and everything.
Yeah.
And they took the C away from him and gave it to Brenden Morrow.
Army wanted to go in a different direction. Just like live a different mindset for the organization as a captain. Meaning, what I took away with that, Brendan's tough, and Modo's not. And Modo went through his peak and was declining. And I think that Brenden Morrow is coming in as a young kid who's got not as much skill, but has got an attitude, and they need to change their attitude.
Was reflective of what they want to represent their organization at the time. It wasn't as much about Modano, maybe, as it was about. Well, I know.
I would say that it has a lot to do with Modano.
Okay.
Actually, probably more than anything, to be honest with you.
Okay, I was trying to say.
Well, we can't be honest.
I was trying to pump up Brenden Morrow's tires.
No, but he's a realist.
Okay.
But like, we don't want to lie to the people. No, I think.
Was Darian Hatcher the captain? He was the captain then.
I
think he was.
Was he in Philly then?
Well, then I'm just saying he was a captain, wasn't he, in Dallas?
Yeah.
So they went they had some of
Darren
those guys.
Hatcher, who took? So I think he go to Philly.
Yeah, he did.
And that's why the captain.
No, then Modano was the captain anyway. I don't know how that all played out.
We got to do a research.
We'll just look that up. I don't know. Sometimes we just talk without fully looking at it first. But Modano was a great captain, great leader, man, the face of that franchise. He was everything to that franchise and helped bring them a Stanley Cup, helped that transition down to deep South Texas.
Yeah.
That would not have been if Modano wasn't on that team. If they had that existing team without Mike Modano, they would have had some.
Well, they would have struggled a lot more.
Tough sledding, man.
Now he was an easy
sell.
Easy sell for sure, guys and girls,
and a true elite superstar.
It was fun to watch.
I put the poll question out there: Madonna versus Kane. Just curious to see what people would say. Not nearly as lopsided as you thought it would be. Got a lot of Modanos.
What's the point differential so far? I know Modano played a lot more games, I guess.
Oh, yeah. He played $14.99. Just missed his 15.
That's right. So what's Kane at? 12?
Should we get Babcock back on?
Yeah. I saw him in Seattle.
Did he talk to you?
Yeah. Talked about the podcast.
What, he
I
did?
swear to God.
What'd you tell him?
I go, hey, man. He's like, hey, Cam. I go, you came on the podcast. You were with Hitch. He's like, oh. I go, you were golfing with Hitch. You guys.
Did he remember that?
Yeah. He said he did. He was totally cool. And then I go to his son, because his son works for the Blues. Like, hey, talk to your daddy. I'm like, what's up? I go, your dad's cool to us.
Babcock
Listen,
Jr. is cool, man.
Totally cool guy.
Yeah.
Nice guy.
Yeah.
Red hair. But his dad is very controversial, obviously, and we chirped him for some of the things he's done. But in regards to coming on the pod and like sitting there talking to me, like I evaluate that kind of stuff too, man.
No, he's cool.
And I'm like, you're good to me.
You
weren't my coach. I don't know.
He just probably he wasn't the right fit for Columbus at the time. Anyway, it was a terrible hire.
He's got his quirks.
I've said that several times.
But he stopped and talked.
You bring Mike Babcock to your organization when you're needing a coach to get you over the hump when you're trying to win a cup. Not when you're trying to like rebuild. I just felt like it was not a good match.
And we know. We talked about that.
Yeah.
It's all good. They got a lot of problems there.
Where?
In Columbus. You know.
What would you do?
What do you do? What can you do? Draft great, and then and make sure you're entertaining.
I'd get rid of.
And you know what else I do? I would do what the Blues did whenever I first got there with Osh and Perry and Bergie and EJ and fucking all these young kids come grow with us. The Blues had us everywhere in this town. We were
I'm sure
everywhere.
they've done all that.
I know, but do it again. The Blues have done that. The Blues have been doing that for 50 years at that point.
I would trade Werenski and anybody that's making money.
Okay.
What do you need any of them for? Like,
it's nice to have a solid defenseman.
I understand that.
Is money the issue?
No, but like, just move on from any of these guys, man.
Well, maybe they don't want to move on from a guy that can get the puck out of the zone easier than anybody else. Like, there's some guys you want to
fresh blood, man. You need some.
They tried to.
I wouldn't want a guys that have been around, and all they know is losing. Maybe they're part responsible for that losing culture. You never know, man.
Yeah, I don't know, but there's some guys you can't just get rid of everybody and like.
I know that, but I'm just saying.
Well, you're saying that.
I would
you
move.
Just said that.
Move. I mean, I'm watching him get walked the other night. I don't know how motivated he is being in a losing environment all the time.
It wears on you, man.
You know,
you get used to it. You accept
Why the hell would they ever let Nick Foligno go, man? Like, he's the one guy where. And I'm not talking from a hockey standpoint, but you want to like lead young players.
Yeah.
He's like becoming the face of it. All these little videos of him and
more
Bedard.
Attention than Condog.
Oh, I know. And then like he's like doing this battle drill with that Korchinski kid.
He's like,
let's go. And then he battles him hard, and then goes and taps him. You know, he's like,
I like it.
This guy is like,
he's like,
that's who you want to lead young players in a young organization.
I completely agree with you. And like even on the bench, he's like, God, I wish I could stay here longer for you.
I don't have enough time on my contract.
I don't have
to
enough
teach
time.
You everything that I
love that.
Yeah.
One time, Connor's like, hey, Nick, when you come back, can you just be a little bit more faster whenever you cross? He's like, you call me slow? Yeah. He's like, well, no, but I might just come back a little quicker. And
he wasn't calling him slow.
No, but Foligno just plays it cool with him. Like, I
think Bedard should just wear the bubble full time the rest of his career.
He looks like that. Like he
just looks like he'd be a bubble player.
Protect that handsome face.
Protect that face so you never get hurt again.
Yeah.
And he is, he just looks like he's a different player in the bubble. Yeah. He's like protected. He's invincible. I love watching him play. His highlight reel. Listen. I'll say this about Connor Bedard: when the season's over, just go watch his highlights. Some of his highlights are just absolutely incredible.
They're pretty cool.
But I will say this: Brock Faber from Minnesota. He would get my vote for Calder Trophy for the Rookie of the Year
this year.
Dude, he's like their number one defenseman. They don't have Spurgeon. He plays like 25 plus minutes a night.
No, I know.
Power play, PK. He's a true rookie in the NHL. He's a second round pick. And he's got 40 points.
It's pretty damn good.
If you want to just look at the points, 40 points is like equivalent to like, it's more than what Bedard has as an offensive player.
Yeah, and
this guy's a defenseman, and he goes up against the other team's best players every game. I'm watching him up close, in person. He's like laser focused during the game, man. He's very intense. Off the draw, he's like directing traffic where everybody's supposed to go on the faceoffs. They got something special in that kid. He should be the Calder. Vote for Faber. He's the best rookie in the NHL.
Damn, Andy. All right. I kind of get what you're saying a little bit. Now, I love the con dog, man.
It's
And
the
he's
most
flashy, but
difficult position, dude.
Connor's, dashed like 30. And he's got work to do as far as his defensive zone is
And
concerned.
Faber's playing like meaningful games down the stretch. They may not get in, but
I don't mind what you said.
he's always on the ice, dude. He never comes off.
Yeah.
And he's got 40 points.
It's pretty damn good.
And he's a rookie playing defense in the NHL.
Second rounder?
Should be the Calder.
Jesus. You might be right on that, dude.
I think he was drafted by LA.
And they're like,
We don't need you.
40
well, he was part of a
points.
big trade. I'm trying to remember.
40 points, pretty good.
40 points.
Yeah. I get that.
No Spurs.
That's good. That's a good little fucking shout out. You're good today, Andy.
I like this Faber.
You're fucking good today.
He's smart, dude.
Yeah.
I can tell he's like book smart too. Probably got straight A's. Just very smart.
Yeah.
Faber,
or he's
man.
dumb as shit in school and he just
I
knows
just
hockey.
hope the journalists who are voting for these awards will like
Ain't
not
gonna
just look
It
at
ain't gonna
like
happen.
YouTube
It ain't
before they
gonna
make
happen.
their decision.
It ain't gonna happen.
Because like another example, Kucherov,
Coochie. Chase that cooch around. Good luck with that.
You got him and McKinnon. I feel like McKinnon's going to end up winning the Hart. It's a neck and neck race for
Let him
points.
go toe to toe, man.
You think that whoever leads the league in scoring should get it?
It's tough because I think Colorado has a better team.
Okay.
I think they're more deep. So Coochie just is probably, I don't know.
Okay.
Dude, you watch McKinnon play. Fuck, man. He drives everything.
Drives it. Okay,
Does.
so they're neck and neck right now.
Yeah.
The more interesting battle is not who's going to win the Hart, but who's going to finish third for the Hart Trophy. And do you put McDavid on the ballot, who's got like, this guy's going to get like 100 assists, Cam.
He's got 87.
No, he's at 91.
Oh, fuck. He was at 87.
Like a couple days ago.
And then, but in 2013.
But now he's like
Jamie Benn had 87 points to win the fucking.
I know.
Hart
So
Race.
he's trying to get to 100. It's obvious. Like he can do whatever he wants on the ice in the NHL. If he didn't have any goals in the season, he'd still be like top 10 in scoring or something like that. So then you have Austin Matthews, who's going to end up with 100 plus points and 60-something goals. I don't think he's going to get to 70. I know he's on pace for 70. Who knows? Maybe he'll get to 70.
Maybe.
He gets to 70, he should win the Hart. See, that changes everything. If Austin Matthews gets to 70 goals, he should win the Hart Trophy.
Hasn't happened in a while.
Since Holy.
In 90.
Whatever, he had 3 consecutive seasons of 70 plus.
Yeah, 94 maybe, 93, 94.
So that's the way I break it down. If this guy gets to 70, he's the Hart Trophy winner. But I think even if he gets to 60-something, part of me wants to put him on the ballot in the 3-hole, man, behind McKinnon and Cooch. And I could go either way. Some days I feel like Coochie should be the Hart Trophy winner. Some days I think McKinnon. But McDavid, all of a sudden he gets to 100 assists, man. Does that leapfrog him to the head of the class? It's very interesting, Cam. We don't normally dive deep into the postseason awards. We leave that to other people to kind of break down and
I just
argue
don't-
about.
I just don't care.
I know, but no, but from that standpoint,
Those guys are doing so much for
I
their
know.
teams. Like it's just like I fucking.
but from that standpoint, it's like if this guy gets to 100 assists, like 100 assists.
Did Hawley have 70 goals after Timo did?
Well, Timo was in 93.
Yeah. Did Hawley do it in 94? I don't think so. I think Hawley did it in 90, 91, 89.
Not
Because Alexander
89.
McGillney did it too. He had 76.
He
So did
did.
Hawley have 70 goals after Timo? So
Well,
was Hawley the last guy to do it?
I don't know, because it could
Did
be.
fucking Mario do it in the late 90s?
Mario had 85 one year.
Yeah, but not-
Holy had 86. So
Let's
the
see.
last year Holy scored 70
Yeah.
was in 1992.
So I thought. So who had 70 the last time?
Well, then that probably would have been Solani or Mogilny.
Solani.
So we'll look up
Let's look at it real quick. It's all good, man. We're doing our
Yeah.
thing, baby. I love all you guys. What's up? Doing our thing.
Solani
What's
had
up? Blah, 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 blah.
92, 93, he had 76. And what year did Mogilny?
Almo.
Let's look that up.
Just real quick. No big deal. We're chilling.
I can get
You
to it
guys are
so
just
fast.
doing your thing. You're driving your
Mogilny had
kids to
76
practice.
and 92, 93 also.
There you go. Okay, so there it is. So it wasn't Hawley.
And I don't think Pavel Bure ever got to
No, he
70.
got 60
Yeah.
2 years in a row. so
So
all
it-
good, baby.
So it wasn't Holy.
No,
No.
that's why. That's
One
why I
year
correct
later.
you. And I wouldn't even a dick about that.
No, well, you should.
If I would have said that, you would have been like, you fucking
well, the
don't
fact
know
checkers.
shit.
I got
That's all
fact
good.
checkers in Saskatchewan. All my people out there, all the shit kickers, man.
Andy asked me about goddamn fucking Israel Palestine, and then he gives me fact checkers. We're talking hockey, and I fact checked his ass, baby.
Whatever. Someone told me Holy the other day. They were wrong. I just took their information.
See, that's what you do.
Yeah, I shouldn't have done that.
You got to think for yourself.
Firstform.com/Cam and Strick brings us the
you want to win 25 grand?
Podcast. You want to win 300
and fucking
grand?
lose 100 pounds or 50 pounds or whatever
then
it is?
download the app, take a photo, and hit
Let's
submit.
go. Just take your photo,
You
man.
have to
I did
April
it.
1st.
I look pale as shit.
I want to see the transformation.
I look like shit.
Cam's
and
going
I'm
to
like, fuck it,
enter
let's go.
his cat.
Why would you say that?
I'm sorry, dude. I don't mean to talk because
She's
like, one day I know
She's gonna
you're going to
it's
make
gonna
me
fuck
feel
me up, dude. Bad.
Really?
God, yeah.
I'll be here for you. You know that.
No, you won't.
Yes, I will.
You're like, yeah.
I'll be here for you.
hear about Ty?
Firstform.com/Cam and Strick.
Man, which is fine. But when that little kitty cat goes away, I'm going to be fucked up.
Oh.
There's a lot of things I do throughout my day that she's involved in,
Mm-hmm.
including getting up at 4:15 in the morning. She's right next to me.
She sleeps with you?
God,
Get
dude,
that
she's
thing out of the bed.
Everywhere I go.
It's
I go to the
hungry.
bathroom.
It's
She's there
hungry.
just staring at me, loves me so much.
Don't let it outside because those eagles are hunting.
Fuck no.
They're coming.
No, they are.
Yeah.
That's why she is an indoor
They
kitty.
are hunting.
And my doggies are indoor
Would
doggies.
you get mad if I came over if I
let her out?
Cat out.
She wouldn't go far. She wouldn't go far.
She wouldn't.
She knows
Okay.
that daddy takes care of her. And she's going to come back.
Illinois Recovery Center.
Christy Pondoff, congratulations, 10 years, baby. Love you to death. Eric Conley, we love you too, man. If you guys are struggling, that's where you go. I don't give a damn where you
Congrats, Chrissy.
live. Fucking hardcore. Chrissy's always around shit, man.
Yeah.
Chrissy's a fucking gangster, dude.
Dude, he's a shit kicker.
Yeah. He is. In a good way.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's cool as
Like
shit.
those from Saskatchewan and from the prairie.
Yeah, but yeah. Chrissy's dad reffed me back in the day, dude. Swansea boy, Belleville boy.
Well, he would have reffed me too then.
He didn't remember.
No, he probably would have remembered.
You.
Ask him.
He didn't remember you. But if you want to go, listen, your family to, anytime you have these events like that where you see a family member and they need help, you go to Illinois Recovery Center right there in Swansea.
800-743-0971.
Beautiful, huge bed waiting for
you.
They will help you. Trust me on that.
Reach out to me and I can help you too.
Or me. Whatever you want to do. Or me.
Or either of us. 800-743-0971.
Love all y'all.
Hatlaunch.com, Cam.
You want to look good? Your team is going to a championship, or they're just a team just starting out, and you want to look the part. You got your tracksuit, you got your hat.
The whole organization.
You got your number on your hat. When you're a kid and you have your name and number on a hat, it's pretty fucking cool.
I remember the
You
first
wear
one
it
I got.
around. Everybody's like, "What's that?" Like, no, I'm part of something.
Yeah.
You're not. I'm different than you.
Mhm.
I have this. This is my team. This is my
Yeah,
people. This is my
yeah.
friends. It's pretty cool, man. I loved it, man. I wore all my
Wearing
AAA
your
stuff.
hockey
Fuck
jacket
yeah.
to school.
God, yeah, dude. Hell yeah. It's awesome.
Girls would look at me.
They'd be like, "What do you got? Wow, you're different." They'd look at you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the girls would look at you like, "Wow, like that's cool. Like what is that? Like, wow, you're a hockey player.
You're
wow,
different.
You're different.
Well, look
You're
at that
different.
hat. You're
A hat.
different.
Wow, you're part of something.
That brand tells
That's
a
cool.
story about you. Hey, the number
You
one
wanna make out?
resource for hats in America is where?
Hat launch.
Thank you.
Goddamn right. Best in the business.
Say hi to Danny and Jordan and
Danny,
everybody.
Jordan, what's up, baby? What's going on?
Say hell yeah.
And you know, with those yoink
Say
hats,
hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Those yoink hats, man, people are like craving those bad boys.
But we can make some other yoink hats too,
Yeah.
and some other Cam and Strick hats.
I'm just saying, they're texting me.
Yeah, I
about it.
know. Yeah, they messaged me too. It's
bet.
coming. It's all good.
It's all good. I'm just letting you know. No big deal.
Bellman and Bellman.com, Cam.
No swinging dicks. And yeah, no swinging dicks. You don't want that
Best customer service you'll find anywhere.
anywhere. And they got a
Buick,
huge
GMC,
assortment.
Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram.
Tons of cars.
Located where?
Troy,
And
Missouri.
no matter how bad
Okay.
no matter how bad your credit
Fucking
is.
try. Well, shit kickers up there.
Hope you enjoyed
It's
this
up yonder.
episode of the Cam and Strick podcast.
Love all you guys,
Get out
man.
to Bellman too. You get out there, take a picture, man. We'll put it
Yeah.
on Instagram.
Love
We're
all
out
you
there.
guys, dude. Message us. Give a
Instagram. I
take care of
want
our
you to
sponsors.
crush that 5-star button
Yeah,
on the
help us out.
podcast app.
We love you guys.
Don't forget to do that. Subscribe to our YouTube.
Yep.
Follow us on
Watch us.
Instagram. Watch us.
Yeah.
And check out all the shorts and all that type of stuff too.
Yeah.
And
Comment.
put a
on it.
comment out there. Cam is responding to the comments, which is always good.
Oh, yeah. You got to. I respond to them. So you comment on there,
He responds back to you.
Huh?
You'll respond back to him.
Yeah. You comment and I'll respond. You know, if you message me, I'll respond.
Yeah, we're down the home stretch, man, of the NHL season. We'll have lots to talk about next week, too.
We've got some good guests coming on.
And into the playoffs as well.
Brenden Morrow, check this bad boy out.
Brenden Morrow, baby. Check this bad boy out. Shit kicker from he grew up in a bar, dude. Amazing story.
Carlisle, Saskatchewan. See you guys. Be cool.
See ya.